guy who's the talk of the town with the restless gun. Don't you bother to fool him around. Keeps the varmints on the run, boy. Keeps the varmints on the run. You may think he's a sleepy type guy, always takes his time. Soon I know you'll be changing your mind when you've seen him use a gun, boy. When you've seen him use a gun. He's the top of the West, always cool, he's the best. He keeps alive with his Colt 45. You won't bother to fool him around when you've seen him use a gun, boy. When you've seen him use a gun. He's the top of the West, always cool, he's the best. He keeps alive with this Colt 45. Who's the guy who's riding to town in the prairie sun? You won't bother to fool him around when you've seen him use a gun, boy. When you've seen him use his gun. He's the guy who's the talk of the town with the restless gun. Don't you bother to fool him around. Keeps the varmints on the run, boy. Keeps the varmints on the run.
Alrighty, Oblivion time. It is time for some Oblivion. Okay, how's the lighting? It is good. Okay. Alright. I really tried, I tried to watch the VOD for what I missed yesterday, but your gameplay was too awful. Yeah, yesterday was not great in terms of finding decent people to play with to keep me going.
Do you ever go to the copious coin purse?
If you couldn't get used to Thor.
Do you ever go to the copious coin purse?
So I...
Let me guess, between last night and today you made another character, didn't you? No. I mean, it's not a bad guess. Probably, 90% of the time you would have been right. But no, it's the same guy that I made 2 days ago. I've legit just been since Thursday, I've been just reworking this guy's face over and over. I've been trying to make it look okay. This is as good as I can do. I think it's not too bad. All things considered. I made my Breton. Yeah, made my Breton. I mentioned yesterday that there's like a few reasons why.
It's you.
There's like a few reasons why I like it's difficult for me to appreciate playing as a Nord or a Imperial. For one, Nords and Imperials seem to have like a lot of like definition on their face, like a lot of detail, a lot of lines and wrinkles. You cannot adjust that really at all. There is a slider to make your character look older by putting more lines and wrinkles on their face. But like comparatively speaking, I don't have that many lines on my face, like IRL. Like I'm fairly a smooth-faced guy, unless I like do an expression. So it's kind of annoying that I can't like get my guy to have a just like a nice kind of smooth face without the definition. Although I kind of get like game developers, you know, they want to like add in more detail onto their character models because they think it looks good, I guess. But like my character, his face makes him look like he's like 40. Or potentially like maybe game developers were looking at faces of people from like 30, 40 years ago. I don't know if you guys have seen, but like if you look at actors from like the 80s, like actors that were like in their like late 20s, early 30s, they look like 40-year-olds today. It's a little bit. It's very. I find that very fascinating to compare. Famously, sorry. One of the better examples is Bill Murray, famous comedian Bill Murray. In the movie, there's a picture. I have a picture saved of him from the movie Stripes, which is like a movie. It's like a comedy movie about him going to boot camp. And like he's in that movie, he's like 28 and he's got like a receding hairline and he's got like 5 o'clock, like permanent 5 o'clock shadow, and like he's got some wrinkles and stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know if it's just bad genetics or if people back then just like smoked a ton and like maybe drank. They didn't have it's a very curious sort of phenomenon because, you know, in the 80s, they didn't have the super, or as they call them, ultra-processed foods that we have today, which are a poison for our bodies in a different sense. But I don't know if, like, maybe that is the case, that, like, people just smoked a lot more back then. So maybe that just aged you horribly. Whereas, like, the ultra-processed food that we eat today just gives you cancer. So it'll kill you. Like, you'll look younger, but it'll kill you later in life, maybe.
How can I help you?
I feel like, you know, we don't have a cure, or at least not a public cure for cancer yet. But I feel like there are so many things that are contributing to our shitty health. Like namely kind of what we eat and drink, like just all the slop that we're fed. So I feel like the government, quote unquote, the government, will have to come out with a cancer cure in the next 10 to 20 years, because I feel like such a large proportion of the population will have cancer that in order for society to function, they're going to have to treat it. I think the just recently I don't know. I don't know the positions in the U.S. government. I think RFK Jr., isn't he the Secretary of Health? So there's someone now working below him that they hired like just this past week. A woman who is a doctor and Trump said that she's an academic. I saw a clip of her talking about like all the illnesses in our society, and and about how like I think she said 1 in 2 people have cancer or will get cancer, something like that.
What can I
which is,
interest
you know, a pretty alarming percentage of people. So I feel like that'll be sort of a big health concern in the near future. So I think we ought to be getting close to a treatment, a like proper treatment for cancer. Because like I just bring that up because cancer wasn't an issue. It wasn't really an issue as of like 40, 50 years ago. Like it was not nearly as prevalent as it is today. Why was it? I was trying to think, like, why am I talking about cancer? I was talking about aging because I was talking about actors in the 80s looking older than people today. I'm in my early 30s. I saw a picture recently of there's this show called Cheers. I think it's like a sitcom or something. It's like a I think it was like a sitcom from the 80s, maybe 90s, where it's set in like a bar in maybe Boston, or a pub or something. And so I was looking at like a picture of the cast of that show at the time, like at the height of the show, and like all the cast was they were all in their like early 30s. And they all looked like they were in their 40s. Like they would have looked like 40-year-olds today, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just very curious about that relation.
I wouldn't make that deal with just anybody. A bargain at any
And I
price.
mentioned that because in the character creator in this game, if you're making a male character, your character has a lot of lines on their face.
A fine bargain for you.
So I was trying to think of the relationship between, you know, what could cause those lines on the face.
I let that go too cheaply.
Why were people 50 years ago? Why did people 50 years ago look older than people of the same age today? This game is set in like a sort of a Middle Ages type setting. Where it's, you know, it's not the Middle Ages, it's a fantasy world, but it's based on,
You drive a hard
it's based on
bargain.
like a sort of like
That's a good
European
deal.
medieval kind of period for the setting.
An
So I
excellent
wonder,
deal.
I don't know if the developers really thought much about that, but,
Another
or if they were
satisfied
just trying to put
customer.
more detail into faces,
Good day.
which is the most likely explanation. So I'll probably just shut up about my rant. But I tried to make my guy look good. You know, minus the wrinkles on the face, I think I did a pretty good job. I mentioned yesterday, it's been really tough for me to try to make like a Breton character, and so I am playing as a Breton this time. Initially, when I started playing this game, I tried a Nord because like facially a Nord is closer to me, with thinner lips and larger eyebrows. And then I tried playing as an Imperial, but Imperials I felt kind of had like too much definition on the face and maybe something else. So I went back to trying to play as a Nord, but then I was like, then I started noticing more of the definition on a Nord face. And I was like, well, initially when I first played this, I really wanted to play as a Breton, but like I really just could not make my character look good. So I think I finally managed to make a decent looking Breton guy. He looks okay. He's good enough, I'd say. So that is something that most people do not care about, but I care about it, and I just thought I'd bring it up because I can't stop myself from making new characters. Quite possibly, I'll make another one, but every time I play like an RPG, almost all the time I'll play that game for like a day or two, and then I'll start over. Because like I'll learn the mechanics a bit better, and I'm like, well, I'd prefer if I could start over stronger now that I know what I'm doing. And now I know like what skills to level. I know where to put my my attention for leveling. I know what I should look out for. I know what I want my character to look like, stuff like that. So that is kind of my perspective on that. I mean, again, most people don't think about this because they'll just sit down and they'll play a game and they probably don't give a shit what their character looks like. They'll just slide all the sliders to the right. But RPGs, role-playing games are my favorite games. So I spend a lot of time playing them and role-playing in them, relatively speaking.
Bye.
So that's why I spend a lot of time thinking about what my character looks like. Something that most people do not care about, but that's something that I do. So hopefully I'll stick with this guy, because again, initially I wanted to play as a Breton, and initially my concept was that I wanted to play as like a paladin kind of style of Breton, where I have heavy armor, sword and shield, or maybe mace and shield, restoration magic, that sort of thing. But I decided that I kind of want to make my guy kind of like just a general kind of adventurer. Another thing, so when I made my previous character, which was a Nord, and I think I did a pretty good job on that guy's face too, I quit playing as that guy for 2 reasons. One, because I mentioned there's like kind of like a lot of detail on the face. For some reason, Breton men have like a little bit less of a defined face with like the I don't know, the jowls or the laugh lines or something. Oh yeah, unfortunately this guy died here. He does give you a quest. I was picking crops, and then a conjurer came over and killed this guy, and I tried to save him, but I was too late. It's unfortunate because he does give you a quest to kill some goblins, so that's too bad. But I probably would have killed those goblins anyway. Oh well. I talked to this guy, and his wife's grave is over here, and so he talks to, and he's like, "Hey, can you help me avenge my wife? Because goblins came and killed her when I was away, and they took like her necklace or something. So can you go kill them and take the necklace back so I have something to remember her by?" And I love that. I love it. Such a simple fantasy quest. Go kill goblins, retrieve a necklace. It's great. Really, I do appreciate the kind of relatively simplistic fantasy lore and setting and writing in this game. And I love the goblin killing. That's awesome. I love goblins in fantasy. In Skyrim, they didn't really have them, unless you had the that mod, the Creation Club. Even then, you didn't see them too much, but yeah. So that guy died. Oops. Oh well. There's another farm that I'll go to next where it's surrounded by bears, and the guy asks you to go kill some bears for him. And on another playthrough I was doing of this, I did go and I tried to fight the bears, but like the bears would come over and kill the guy. So I was really struggling to do that quest. So I did eventually complete it. You have to kill 6 bears for him. But I've made a new character since then, so all that effort that I put was for nothing. So again, you'd probably call me crazy because I'll make a character, I'll make a little progress on the character, and then I'll make I'll just start it completely over from scratch. I'm like, I wanna do things differently, so instead of just doing things differently from going forward, I'm gonna make a whole new guy. Now, one problem in this game is that there's no way to alter your character's appearance after you start the game. Which is sort of anti to what you would see in a lot of like more modern games. Like a lot of modern games, they'll give you like some option to remake your character's appearance later on. But not, I guess, again, because this game is just a remaster, really, of a 20-year-old game. So I guess I don't really... I can't judge the game for not having like a more modern kind of concept in it. But that's one of the reasons I've been starting over so much, is because like I'll make a character, I don't quite like how the character turned out, so I get too bothered by the appearance, so I gotta start over. I just gotta. It's like a weird compulsion, maybe. So yeah, I tried making my previous character was a Nord. And I was kind of like noticing more like the definition in the face. And what else? Because Nords are, I mentioned this yesterday, but Nords are super, super pale. So I didn't want to be like a sheet or a ghost or something level of pale skin. Like I'm pretty white IRL, but depending on the lighting, I can be like a tiny bit orangey. Not because I go out in the sun and get a tan, but more so because I eat a lot of carrots, and I think also red pepper maybe. I believe that is a thing where if you eat like a lot of carrots, it'll tint your skin orange. So it's one of the vegetables I eat more commonly. Good fiber. So I didn't want to be a super pale Nord. So in the character creator, when I was making my last Nord character, I tinted his skin to be, not super pale. I made him like a tiny bit ish tanned, like just like slightly. But I mentioned this yesterday. But the problem with that is that if you change, I don't know how consistent this is across the character creator, but if you change the tone of a character's skin, it'll only affect like the face and like the upper kind of chest area. So it looks like you have like a weird tan, which is it's too weird, I think. So Bretons and Imperials, by comparison to Nords, they are not as like super duper white. So I'm fine with starting with like the base default like palest skin for either of those two. So those were a couple reasons why I wanted to start over. Also, 2 characters ago that I made a custom class that I called the Alchemist class. So you can make custom classes in this game, and you can name them, and you can put whatever skills you want on them. So the default name for a class that you can make is just called Adventurer, very basic. But I'm playing on the hardest difficulty, on Master difficulty, as demonstrated here. And it's very hard. Like, you barely do any damage to enemies, and they can kill you. A lot of enemies can kill you in, like, about 3 hits. So, a great way to... there's a few different ways you can tackle Master difficulty. You can become a sneaky character. You can become a mage character, casting powerful spells from farther away, because, like, a lot of enemies are kind of melee, so they'll come at you. Or you could find a way to enhance your... stats and skills and abilities, either through some spells that can, I think like Alteration, which can buff up your, shield or health or whatever. You can do enchanting, so you can enchant your armor and weapons and clothing, so you can have, some buffs on that. Or you can do alchemy. And I in all of those regards, I prefer to be like less magically inclined. Because I don't know. I think magic is lame. I like my sword and shield kind of playstyle. So, to buff up my guy, and also to not be a sneaky son of a bitch, alchemy is where I want to put my focus. So, I mean, I talked about this before, but alchemy in like these older RPGs is pretty overpowered because you can kind of break the game depending on some of the potions you make. Even if you just level up your alchemy skill pretty high, you can make some pretty good potions from basic ingredients. So that's kind of what I'm working towards right now. And I pointed this out like last week as well, that I just made a ton of health potions, very basic health potions, and I made a bunch of poison, very basic, and I was able to effectively kind of play the game more or less normally, even on the highest difficulty. So because of the focus on alchemy, I was like, well, my character might as well just be he might as well start out as an alchemist and then use those skills, going forward, creating better spells as the game, better potions as the game goes on. So I also kind of like that concept, just kind of starting out as like a simple alchemist going around collecting ingredients and things and, making a ton of gold, selling potions, as I have been making a lot of gold. Yeah, so for this character, I'm a Breton. I chose the Lord birth sign, so it gives you a better armor rating and resistance to magic. And I believe Bretons also have a higher resistance to magic. I don't know if there is maybe a stat somewhere that I can look at that would describe that. Yeah, here we go. So the Bretons have a 50% resistance to magic, and in combination with the Lord birth sign, that's an extra 15%, which is pretty good. I believe damage resistance caps at 85%. So I'm curious. I would assume that probably magic resistance. I would assume probably also caps at 85. I don't know. But that's very good. Those are very good. Those are very good abilities to have early game, in this game on the highest difficulty, because you're taking more damage, so you want to mitigate that with more kind of defensive stats. So yeah, so playing as a Breton is good for that, if nothing else. Bretons would be good mage characters, but again, I don't want to play as a mage, so oh well. I appreciate the role play and the appearance. Yeah, made my custom alchemist class, and as the title of my stream suggests, I am not leveling up. Now I'll explain that a little bit. I've kind of been like, since this game came out, I've been kind of like looking around at like the Reddit and seeing what people have to say, looking at different forums, kind of getting a feel for people's thoughts on this game, and in this case, more specifically, how the leveling fares. So I've seen some people complain that you level too quickly. So as you kind of like, level up as you play, you will come, as you kind of grow and level, you'll come across stronger enemies, right? Or you'll come across like bandits that'll have like high level gear. So you'll be like level 10 or level 15, and you'll come across bandits that are carrying like glass weapons, right? And it's just like, what? Why are they bandits, robbing people if they're carrying like 1,000 gold weapon, right? Kind of silly. But like just the ridiculousness of that isn't alone to make me kind of think about how the leveling ought to be. But also because, playing on a higher difficulty level, of course, you should be more concerned as you level up, because the game's already tough, and you're leveling up, right? And you're fighting harder and harder enemies.
Everything for the budding alchemist.
So
You never know when you might need
I
a
kind of
good
came to the
strong
conclusion that,
potion.
like,
Best to stick
I
your
like the
power
idea
if
of
you
kind of
can.
wandering around, and people also pointed out that you level far too quickly in this game. I think specifically the remaster, because one change from the original is that in the original you would pick when you first start the game, you have to pick like I think 7 major skills that you would level up, and those skills, as you would like use them, as you would use those skills, it would level up your character. And then I think you would pick some minor skills I think you would also pick some minor skills that would level you slower as well. Whereas in this remake, they modernized it, so they have you just picking 7 major skills, and then every other skill
You've got to be kidding.
is technically a minor skill. Which I think I do prefer it this way compared to the original, because it gives you more flexibility for how to play.
A good price for a good.
But you do level like pretty damn quick, because like everything you do levels you up. So I didn't play the original much.
You too.
I played through it once and I kind of rushed through the story. So I didn't really get a feel for like proper progression, for example. So I don't know how I don't remember, or I don't really know what it was like to I don't really know what it was like to
very happy to make your
to like sort of progress naturally in the game for the original. But in this game, it does feel kind of like it does feel like you level really quick, like too quick, because like within like a couple hours you'll be fighting like bandits that are equipped with like dwarven armor or something. So I don't like that. Like, for the sake of like kind of like a more natural feeling world, I am specifically sort of like keeping myself from leveling, so that I can sort of just enjoy a more, not relaxed pace, but a more kind of organic pace. So I'm choosing not to level, or at the very least not leveling right now, so that I can enjoy most of the early game, and I can explore, and I can do a little leveling, or do a little leveling of my skills, not my character. Oh, whoops. Because, yeah, like I said, I just don't want to be fighting, like, really tough enemies too soon. I want to kind of be properly equipped by the time I get there. There's a couple issues with that. For one, again, I've heard that I've heard people complain sort of about the leveling in this game, where like,
yes,
there's a big on the Reddit, on the Oblivion Reddit. There's like a big sort of argument going on with people, where some people are saying like, you should do this main story quest where you are fighting the Daedra at Kvatch and closing the Oblivion gate there. Some people are saying you should do that before level 10, and some people are saying you should do it after level 10, or whatever time you think. Because like people, I guess there have been people complaining that they'll kind of like do some leveling and then they'll go over to do that main story quest.
I appreciate.
And like the enemies that they fight are like much harder than they ought to be. And so a lot of people are saying like, oh, you better do this quest before level 10, because if it's after level 10, you'll be fighting enemies that are like way too hard. And then other people are arguing and saying, just let people play at their own pace and like learn on their own. And if they want to do it after level 10, then let them. And if they're struggling, then let them learn.
Have a look at my wares.
That kind of attitude.
To suit you.
So one issue
That's a
is,
good
or one
deal.
consideration is that I don't want to be fighting enemies that are too hard too early. I don't want it, because I don't want to like
You're a
have my
fine
progression
pleasure doing
kind of
business
nerfed later on. I don't know.
You've
I
got
don't know how
pleasure
that would
doing
go,
business with
but
you. A fine bargain for you.
kind of like, again, as I was alluding to earlier,
that
one of
go
the things
too
that I
cheaply.
like is like just kind of being able to enjoy the world and not run into like enemies that are too strong too quick. So I want to appreciate, leveling. I want to appreciate leveling my skills without leveling my character and thus the world around me. So you can level your skills in this game, and you'll like unlock perks for your skills
Come back and
every 25
Seeing
levels. And then like when you level, I think when you level 10, when you level up skills, I think 10 times, then you get like a character level up. I think something like that. And then you can get your character to go sleep in a bed, and then they can get a character level up, and then you can put points into various attributes like intelligence or health or whatever. So you as the character control your own sort of progression in the game world in terms of level, because you determine when you sleep and level up. But again, in the meantime, you can still level your skills up, and you can improve. You can improve your character's abilities at the very least. So it feels like what you're doing isn't for nothing. So compare that to Skyrim, where to unlock new abilities for your skills, you have to level up, and then you get a skill point, and then you can use that skill point to put that into a skill. Again, compared to this game, you level up your skills, and your skills just get better without you leveling up. So that is a bit of a benefit here. Although one issue. So, like, as I mentioned, I'm purposefully slowing down my my skill leveling and progression because I don't want to be running into like bandits at level 10 with like elven armor and glass weapons and things like that. Because it just feels unnatural. I kind of like the more basic kind of feeling of coming across bandits and they all just have like iron and fur. Iron weapons for armor. Like, that just feels right, you know? So I don't like... So I think that is... I think that is something that people complain about, maybe with the original game, is that, like... you know, later on in the game, you'll come across bandits with, like, ebony weapons and armor and stuff like that. It's just like, damn, these bandits are, like, way too well-equipped. Like, that's just silly. But it's sort of like, I guess, a means of...
You think? They say...
It would be sort of a means of increasing the difficulty for the player as the player increases in level. I can imagine that was kind of the intention behind a decision like that. But I can also see the frustration of players to have to deal with bandits that are maybe more well-equipped than they are. But, you know, that's how you would get, you know, better gear sometimes, right? So that is also a bit of a concern, you could argue, is that if you're choosing to not level your character up, your character's just not going to have access to better gear. Which is partly true. I'm noticing, at the very least, in, like, shops, they are not selling, like, higher level or, like, you know, greater quality equipment. Particularly for me as an alchemist, or someone who's focusing on alchemy, I was kind of pointing this out a little bit last weekend when I was, like, leveling my alchemy skill. As you level up in ranks in alchemy, you should be using like better and better alchemy equipment, right? You start out with like novice alchemy equipment, and then you get apprentice level equipment, and then you get journeyman equipment, and so on and so forth. And I think last weekend when I was also kind of leveling alchemy, I got my equipment up to like expert level, and I was trying to find like master level equipment, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I think I read that like you have to find master level equipment like in dungeons. So given that but what's also interesting is that I sort of figured that the advancement of getting higher quality equipment, like particularly in alchemy, was based more on your alchemy level and not your character level. But it seems that that's not the case, because I am leveling up my alchemy skill, but in like shops, I'm only ever finding like novice equipment. So, but like I don't really have too much of an issue with that, because it's not even really nerfing yourself, because I guess, I'm not totally sure, but I think that the whole world scales to you I'm not entirely sure if there are like areas in the game that are leveled, as some games do. You'll, you know, go out into the world, and like if you go too far, you'll come across an area of the game that's like, you know, you're facing enemies that are like way above your level, for example. I don't know if that's how this game works. From what I've seen, it seems like the whole world levels to your level. So if you stay, in theory, if you stay level 1 for the whole game, then you're only going to be facing like level 1 enemies. In theory. So you could sort of see that as a benefit, because I think I have the feeling that enemies level with you disproportionately. So like if you level up, enemies level alongside you. So like if you go from level 2 to 3, enemies will go from level 2 to 3. But I feel like it's like it feels like enemies just inherently do more damage and they'll have more health as they level up compared to you. This is probably just anecdotal, but it feels like you, the character, do not get a proportional amount of that, you know, larger health pool or greater damage. But that is supposed to be, I mean, reasonably, that's supposed to be offset by the fact that you, as the character, you're supposed to be, you know, collecting enchanted gear, and you're supposed to be using spells to buff yourself, and you're supposed to be crafting stronger potions and stuff like that. I guess just, you know, I don't mind taking it slower and just not leveling at all. And just appreciating, you know, the game world at a slower pace. Because I can kind of agree with the complaints that some people have about how you do kind of level too quick, and so the world kind of passes you by before you're at sort of a comfortable level for it, maybe. That's my perception of the situation anyway. So I'm choosing not to level. But it's not a difficult challenge because again, I'm putting a lot of time into leveling my alchemy skill so that I can just use fairly effective poisons and potions, and enemies are not getting disproportionately stronger because I'm also at the same time not getting higher level armor and weapons and enchanted gear to kind of match that pace. So it might be silly to say, but the game is a lot easier at level 1. And it's just interesting that the game doesn't kind of force leveling on you. I don't know how to think about. I don't know what to think about that. It's kind of nice that they give you, like, they let you go at your own pace and you can level up when you choose to, but at the same time, no, I guess that does make sense. I don't know what I'm complaining about. I'm just trying to think of I'm trying to think of that conceptually, because I feel like a lot of other games I play, it's more like there are leveled zones, and that's kind of what I'm used to. The only annoying thing is that in the upper right corner of the screen, which you guys can't see, there is a symbol that says, you know, there's like an arrow pointing up, so it says, you know, it's telling you to level up. So I'm just like, go away. I know I have to level up. Just leave me alone. So it's a little distracting, but whatever. I'll just try to ignore it. Oh, I need to craft a ton more potions. Let me catch up on the chat. Yeah. Fucking LG. The money I'm willing to invest in you playing other games is dwindling the more characters you make. I honestly feel like I'm like partly insane with this like mental illness that I have to constantly make new characters over and over. But I justify it by saying, like, you know, whatever. If I want to play the game like that, I'm going to do it. I like making new characters over and over. It's sort of a... it's just like a comfort thing. It's like almost like a cozy thing. It's like I like playing the beginnings of games, RPGs especially. I'll play them over and over, and then I'll get bored after like 3 months, and then I'll go play something else. But I do that a lot. The money I'm willing to invest. He looks like a younger Mr. Burns. No. Excellent. Excellent. Big nose looking fella. Well, he's based on yours truly. Riveting content here. I love yapping. I could yap all day. I was late to stream today because I was working on cosplay. And as I mentioned yesterday, probably I will not be streaming next Saturday, Sunday, as I will probably need those evenings to work on cosplay, probably. Because the following weekend I have a con to go to. Alchemy Master increased. Your stained fingers attest to your diligence in mixing potions and learning their secrets. You are now a master of alchemy. You can now create potions from a single ingredient and can sustain even more simultaneous potion effects. So now I am at master level alchemy. So just for the beginning of today, I wanted to finish leveling my alchemy level. Next, I will go around and get a few ingredients for making health potions and poisons, and then we can actually go around and play some stuff, do some interesting things. Let's see. I thought you were gonna make a jokey character, just create chaos. I was thinking about it, but I don't know. I kind of just wanted to chill and enjoy this game, because I've been like hankering for a long time to like actually like sink my teeth into like a real big open world new kind of Bethesda game, and I was contemplating. Like a few months ago, I was contemplating getting an Xbox Series X to play Starfield. I have an Xbox Series S, but like, you know, reasonably it's kind of like a weaker console. And I was thinking about like just getting into Starfield because like it's like the newest Bethesda title. So I just wanted something like new to play because I was getting bored of all the other games. So I was thinking about getting an Xbox, and I was also thinking like, oh, gee whiz, I really hope they announce Starfield for PS5 already. They might still put Starfield on PS5. I'm kind of hoping that in like a year they'll have like a sort of Starfield sort of like a sort of relaunch where they will come out with like a I guess almost like a Skyrim Special Edition version of Starfield. It'd be like a bit too soon for a special edition of Starfield, but something like that. And that'll probably be like around the time they release the next DLC for Starfield, which I don't know if that's even been announced yet, but they said they would want to do like a new expansion like about once a year.
That's a good
So that'd be. I would like to see that as a Bethesda fan. I would like to see them sort of like do a kind of a re-release of Starfield with like do like a sort of a bundle with the main game plus like, you know, the 2 DLCs. I'm speculating that they'll have 2 DLCs by that point. Plus, like, they could throw in some other content in there. And like in my mind, they kind of need like a sort of like a relaunch or re-release.
You drive a hard bargain.
Because like their first launch was, I don't know, kind of lukewarm, because there were like a lot of issues with the game and people kind of found it boring and like a lot of loading screens and stuff like that. So if they did a sort of like relaunch,
Thank you for your bit.
I think that would be like a good thing if they kind of reworked some of the systems and mechanics in the game. maybe found a way to optimize it to have the loading screens a lot shorter, or something, you know. Then they could see more success, I think. Otherwise, I'm very happy with this game. I'm like so stoked to play more of this. But I have this problem where I can't stop starting over to make new characters. I'm never satisfied.
I understand the Fighters Guild is high.
But I'm always hopeful. I'm always optimistic that this time I've made a character that I will stick with. Surely this time. He's got all the skills I want. I spent forever making his face. This time, for real. I'll really do it. I'll really stick with this guy this time, I swear.
What is it?
What else are you guys saying? That was the most wishful of thinkings from my part. Yeah, I was thinking initially of making like a jokey character, but then I was like, well, that might diminish the experience for me, so I'd rather just kind of enjoy it naturally, I think. You and your Bethesda, you're always going to go back to Sneaky Archer. I actually never do Sneaky Archer. Never, ever. Because I'm too impatient for sneaking.
But I haven't spent a lot of time there.
I hear you.
Good day. Greetings, Breton.
Sorry, I tabbed out and closed your stream by mistake. Could you repeat everything you said in the past 20 minutes? Yeah, sure. 20 minutes ago. Sorry, 30 minutes. Does this game have a known backseater community? A backseater community? People backseating this game? I wonder. I'm not too sure. Does this game have a backseating community? It might. What's this guy want? I don't have my headphones on, so I don't know his I don't know what his problem is. I'm just taking these flowers to make poison so I can kill him. Does this game have a backseating community? Not that I know of. Not that I'm aware. Yeah. I know Souls games is a split 50-50. Half want to see you suffer but succeed on your own, and others want to tell you and dictate what build you must use or where to go and spoil shit. Interesting. I'm trying to think what I would do if I was watching somebody play. I'd probably just want to see them. I probably wouldn't want to spoil anything. I'd probably just want to see how they would do. Is this guy following me? What does this guy want?
You may speak.
Is he stalking me?
What do you say, pal?
I don't know.
Seen any action?
I don't know what he wants.
Don't worry. We'll bring that scoundrel in.
I truly hope unwanted backseaters die painfully.
He's more likely, that's for damn sure.
First edition is the only place in the
Getting
city's
that promotion in no time.
It's a fine place. You hear that?
Smaller bookstore.
Died painfully of lung cancer like me. All right, Walter White. Time to cook. What's up? Why does Twitch look different? That's a good question. Why does Twitch look different? I haven't noticed. You on mobile? Twitch looks the same. You on mobile? Pretty insane. More like greatly insane. Very much insane. Very, very insane. Very insane indeed. I was more recently playing as Nord characters, so I had a lot more carry capacity. But I was also leveling up and putting points into strength, so I feel like I'm maybe starting to not be able to carry quite as much as I'm used to. So I'll have to be careful of this. Yeah, 2 weekends. You're not 2 weekends. You're not gonna stream then. 2 weekends. You're not gonna stream then. Yeah. Well, so next weekend, I was saying that probably I will not be streaming, like Saturday, Sunday. Just because I might I'll probably need more time to work on cosplay. But I'm thinking probably I will want to stream on Friday and Monday because I like having like a little bit of time to like play some competitive games and do some working out. Because like I'm like busy. I go into the office like 5 days a week, so like I like to do like a competitive game. To kind of like unwind, and then also I just get the opportunity to like work out more, so that's nice. Okay, I've got to have enough. I've got to have enough ingredients to cook. Plus, I feel like it's hard for me to like dedicate time to working on cosplay like after I come home from work because like I'm kind of tired. But like on the weekend, I can kind of like focus more. Yeah. And then yeah, the following weekend I won't stream either because like I said, going to a con. Yes, I'm on mobile. So glad the first hour of stream was just hearing you yap. Well, get used to it. So much that you're yawning already. Even your own body is tired. Sneaky Archer is literally what you were doing when you started. That's kind of creepy. Pretty creepy. Pretty creepy guy. Look at this guy. Look at what a creepy is. Okay, now I'll get to make all these potions. Okay. What the hell? What the hell? Shock damage on self. That's no good. Will it make a poison for me to use? Let's see. Okay, I crafted this potion. Where is that potion? Restore health. So did I hurt myself? I think that's what that was. I think that's what actually happened is that I've made a potion where what the hell? Restore health on self 5 points for 19 seconds. Shock damage on self 4 points for 16 seconds. So I'm taking damage. I'm healing myself at a tiny bit faster pace than I'm taking damage. What a shitty potion. I wasn't sure. I was like, that can't be what it is. So quite likely, my potion crafting equipment is like not high enough level. So it's possible that I'm making. I might have to make like crap potions. That might be all I've. Nope, I can make a real potion. Combining these two things. Okay. All right, I guess I'll do that. I just can't make a potion combining those two things. And I can make a real potion combining these two things. Let's see, what else can I use? That's about it. How many potions did I make? Only about 36. That's not too many. And then poisons. I also want to make poisons. What were you guys saying? Fucking Twitch, I mean Kick. Oh yeah, I'm not streaming. I mentioned this yesterday, but I'm not streaming on TikTok because I need to do like an update for my TikTok streaming app, and it needs like a 1.5 GB of space. So on my partition for my Windows OS on my laptop, I don't have that much room, so I'm like too lazy to like kind of work that out right now. Maybe in a few weeks. Okay, now I need to make some more poisons. So I can combine that with that. Okay, I've been picking up like a lot of poison ingredients and health ingredients. Okay, so now we can go ahead and maybe do some actual gameplay. I can carry about 90 pounds of stuff. Where was the market? Back this way. I need to find... Oh, I think I should probably buy a full set of armor, too. I couldn't watch you anyway. Once I'm back in the USA of A, I'll make a new TikTok. Oh, on TikTok, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I don't... streaming on TikTok isn't... My setup there isn't great anyway, so I can kind of imagine why I wasn't getting all that many views. Oh well. I should find some new place to travel to so that I can talk to the people and drink my drinks. What the hell? It's 9:30 already.
The best defense, that's me, Morrow Rufus. Light arm.
That's me.
The very best.
The very best.
Can I interest you in some of my wares?
Okay. Oh, repair hammers. I want those too. I will buy a full leather set, my good man. First, let me
I'm listening.
Riz you up. Okay, so this guy likes joking and coercing.
Oh, that's great. You win this. Don't be sick. You're pathetic.
I'm learning this mini game. It's not so bad.
That's a bit excessive, don't you think? Don't make me laugh. That's You've got a point. You're a big... Oh, that's great. That's enough. Was that supposed to be a compliment? I'm not buying that one. You're pathetic. Oh, that's great. I won't fight you.
There we go. Max disposition.
Have a look around. You won't find...
And then I will haggle with him.
An excellent deal. Pleasure doing business with you. I can't make that deal. You're trying to drive me out of business.
Okay, and then I will sell my rough leather boots.
A good price for
rough
a
leather
good customer.
cuirass, tan linens. That should be fine. I've got a rusty iron bow. I'd like to buy like a proper iron bow. I don't know if there's much of a difference between rusty or rough equipment and like normal equipment. But I feel like it'd be better to have just regular normal equipment, just in case there is like a slight degrade or something. And then I think I'll buy another like 5 of these.
Tell you off. Bye.
Oh, I'm naked. Oh no, got my diaper on. There's also no muscle sliders in this game, so you can't beef up your character. This guy's like half my size almost. So for this character, I'm spec'd into light armor and heavy armor, or spec'd into. I have those as tagged major skills because I want to start out with light armor and then get heavy armor later. There's a couple weapon shops. I don't know.
From high places.
Don't know if any of the weapon shops have bows.
Welcome. Armor, weapons, I have it all. How may I help you?
Oh, she does have an iron bow. Good, good, good. Good. So I have a regular iron short sword and a rusty iron bow, so I'm gonna sell that. Oh, can I get like a fine iron short sword? That'd be cool. Not too sure what the difference would be, but I have a fine. They're selling a fine steel. Oh, fine steel short sword. That looks kind of nice. Kind of, almost. I don't know. I'd like to get the fine iron. Wonder where I can get a fine iron short sword. I wonder. Okay, I will riz you up.
We'll see.
We'll see. Okay, so she likes admiring and joking.
Don't make me laugh. What a good one. Blah, blah, blah. What a bore.
Ah, damn.
Oh, what a... Sure, that's cute. No, not bad. You're full of it. Is that so? You're really good one. You're full of it. That's just talk. No, that's pretty. Blah, blah, blah. No, yeah, I get it. Blah, you can't scare me. Oh, please. What a... Not bad. Blah, blah, blah. What a boy. Is that... Please. Good one. Don't make me laugh.
I'm getting good at that minigame.
Have a look at my wares.
Have a look at my
I'm sure
wares.
there's something to suit you. I can't make that deal.
Okay, good, good, good.
I appreciate... Good day.
Good day. What were you guys saying? You would have to tap into a second... You would have to tap in to succeed on TikTok. Can't miss a single chat. Yeah, that happens regularly, is that on TikTok when I stream, I'll get, like, from time to time, somebody that chats in the chat, and then, like, but they won't wait around for me to respond to them. They'll, like, leave immediately. I hate TikTok. It's, like, it's really poisoned the minds of a lot of people in, like, a couple different ways.
What can I interest you in?
It's like, TikTok, the sort of content that you would see on TikTok. How do I describe this? It's like another sort of form of pornography for your brain, in the sense that like the quick sort of style of content just is really harmful for your like sense of patience and I don't know. Like you're too like addicted to like short term content, so you can't really. I can't even describe my thoughts. I'm too thoughtful about what I'm trying to buy here. I think I might want an iron helmet. I'll get an iron helmet. It only weighs 6 pounds. I'll get it. I don't like. I can't find. I mentioned this last weekend, but it's really hard to find like a hood for my character. Yeah, fella, you started streaming at 8:20. Two of my ooey girl streams in like 5 minutes, so I'm gonna smoke this J real quick. Don't go nowhere, come guard circumcised. I was wondering about your muscles. I thought you were going for the Carlo build from Lies of PP. Oh, in this game. Yeah, you can't. There's no like body slider in this game. I think that was something new they added in Skyrim.
Probably ask Bernard. He'll train you in how to use heavy armor, if you could pay for his time. Frostcrag.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I need to hotkey some of these. I would ordinarily have a shield. I guess I should grab one.
Spire has been uninhabited for so long.
Stonewall shields. Since you like that game so much, Carlonini, Papatini, you're risen so wrong. Did you forget how to already? No.
Stonewall.
I know.
May I interest you in some of my fine wares?
Interest you. Okay, he's got a special. He's got a special legendary shield called the Tower of the Nine. And interesting. He's also got a special heavy armor chest that is it resists poison by 7%. The enchantments in this game are a little silly. It's like 7%. It's nothing. I will buy an iron shield that weighs 12 pounds. I'm not going to be able to carry much. But I've already got like 32,000 gold, so I forgot to riz this guy. Damn. Oh well. I've already got 32,000 gold, so it's not like I really need
Come back and see me.
the gold.
Take care.
In that case, I should probably focus on doing like quests. The question is, where do I want to be questing? So, I think last week I think I mentioned that I wanted to try to find a like a town to kind of sort of base myself in. There we go. I've made use of every weapon slot. This is perfect, actually. Sword, shield, bow, torch, arrows, helmet. Nice. I love that. Not even in Elder Scrolls Online can you, like, quick select helmet on and off. Actually, no, that's not true. You can.
Well met.
Good to see you.
What game am I thinking of? Oh, Fallout 76. You can't quick select helmet on and off.
See you.
Shield. That's great. This works really well. Take the arrows off, take the helmet off, take the shield off. When I go into a town, I can just be very kind of plain. And then I can also pop a health or a poison. A health. A potion. Great! Okay, I'm all set. How much am I carrying now? 111 pounds. Ooh, that's not good. 111 pounds. Yeah, it could be better. I might be able to save a bit of space. I've got a ton of poison ingredients. I could probably save space if I made a ton of poisons. I guess I'll just do that. So I'm at 111 pounds. Let's see where I'm at after I've made every poison. I hate that, like, I've got two, like, health potion, ingredients, but, like, they both have the same effect where they produce shock damage on me. Which is so dumb. So I'll need to find something to mix with either of them, I guess. Are you kidding me? My weight did not change. Oh, I understand why. So I was thinking that... if I combine two ingredients that are both 0.1 pounds each, then that'll half my weight of all those things. But actually... I produce 2 potions now, and each potion or poison is 0.1 pound, so did not make any difference. It's kind of funny. Well, I guess when I fight bandits, I'll just be taking like their lockpicks and gold.
Have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to suit you.
Let's see. I want to sell this potion that shocks me. I'll sell these agility potions.
You've made a good bit of gold.
I'll probably want to use up these potions that I have that restore my health in like one action. Okay, I've saved 1 pound by selling a few things.
Tell your friends. Fare thee well.
So I can't even raise my carry capacity until I level up. So this is a downside of not leveling.
What? Please, go ahead.
Okay, so
Fighters Guild is hiring new members.
yeah, it's a bit late. It's 9:30. It's about 9:30 already.
I'm only asking for a single coin.
So I've done barely anything on this character, as you might imagine, since I am level 1. I've really only gone out into the world to find these 4 farms that I was farming ingredients for potions at. To level my alchemy skill, and now that I'm at max alchemy level, maybe it might have been a bit of a waste, but I don't know. At least now I can make 2 potions at a time. That's beneficial. So now, potentially, we could maybe go around and have a look at what town I might want to settle in. I was thinking about this the other week.
Hi.
My dilemma is that, like, well, you know, for role play, I'd like to like let my character like have a house somewhere. Also, it's very convenient for me to store all of my crap.
Greetings, Breton.
Like, for example, I could sell all the enchanted gear that I find, and all the alchemy ingredients. All the alchemy ingredients that I'm not currently using. Which way to the waterfront? Oh, it's past the Plaza. No, wait, sorry. It's past the Temple District. I wish that the waterfront was like right next to the market. I feel like that would make a lot more sense. Because, like, the ships need to come in with their goods.
You have my ear, citizen.
Right? They need to be sold, so why wouldn't she put that right next to the market?
Speak.
So one potential place for my character to live.
What is it, citizen?
Don't know why that horse like randomly spawns outside of town sometimes. So one place for my character to potentially live would be a little shack over here. I'm skipping around everywhere I go because I'm so full of glee and whimsy. This shack over here. I can purchase this and live in it if I wish. I do not at all mind the location. It's right next to the water. It's very peaceful. It's nice. Fair amount of green around it. Not bad. It's a very modest sized dwelling. I like that. The problem is the location. It's quite far from anything kind of worth
Oh, hey, sweet
seeing.
lady of way, rest. Oh, hey, sweet lady.
And then
of
I've got
mine.
singing pirates that live next to me, so I don't like that.
Get your black horse courier here.
So I like the kind of surrounding environment around the house. I like the size of the house. Although we're in a bit of a slum over here. I think these are kind of like, you know, they're all like shacks, right? So they're not terribly terribly well-to-do. I guess it's not too hard to get here because there is a fast travel point for the waterfront, but I still would prefer to live in an area where I can be like within walking distance of like a shop so I can sell crap.
Get lost.
What a friendly neighborhood. I don't believe there are any shops here.
Get your black horse courier
This
here.
this ship here is an inn, I believe. And there's also
Speak.
actually I don't know what trading company warehouse. I should have a look maybe at some of these buildings. There's nothing over here. There are graves over here? Interesting. Wonder who these graves are for. Kind of an odd spot to put just a few graves. I wonder what the story is.
What do you want, Breton Trash?
Breton Trash?
Uzel Grobrulum. I'm courting Mivrina Arano.
Uzel
So stay
Grobrulum.
away from her. I got matrimony on my mind.
It's possible that orcs really don't like Bretons because of all the all the wars that have taken place in their kingdom. Well, I'm trying to remember the name of their kingdom. Is it not? Do they just call it Hrothgar? It's the region that they live is Hrothgar, or the Hrothgarian Mountains. I don't remember if the name of their city, their kingdom city, was called Orzammar.
Leave me alone.
Breton Trash.
Well
Sheesh.
met.
If I was stronger, I'd take care of that guy. So it looks like all the shops
is it,
around
citizen?
here,
How goes it?
they're all just trading
What's
company
new with you?
warehouses.
Saw a mud crab a couple of days ago. Ugly little animals.
Disgusting creatures. I hope never to see another.
See,
Farewell.
Disgusting
Oh, hey, sweet
creatures.
lady of Wayrest. Oh, hey, sweet lady of mine. I'll see you again.
There
Yes, I'll
once
see
was
you
a
again.
hardy young
Sweet
lad
lady
of the sea.
All right, all right. I can't take living next to jolly pirates. No thanks.
what is it now?
All right, not a great neighborhood. I think last week I was showing off I had a character then, and I was living in Bravil. Braville's a bit of a meme, I think, for fans of this game because it's kind of a shithole town, shithole city. It is I will admit it's a bit, you know, poorer, I guess. But the player home that you can buy there is like a modest size, so I like it. And the environment in the town is like, it's kind of nice because it's got a fair amount of green, it's got some water, so it's not too bad to live in. For a while, I was considering moving into Leyawiin. Leyawiin would be a top choice for me potentially, because it's got the setting of the city is nice. Because it's got like a lot of green in it. I like that.
I'm only asking for a single coin.
I'm only asking for a single coin. RFK Jr. should voice in this game. I'm only asking. I would love to be able to like replicate RFK's his voice. I can't do it though. He's got some good quotes. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, so because I can't have my character sleep, right? Because I'd level up. So I'll it's just for roleplay purposes. I'll walk into an inn and I'll wait there for several hours. Works for me.
What is it now?
What is it now?
Me children are starving. Please help.
Me children, they're starving, man. Okay, so Leyawiin. So I guess we'll maybe do like a little bit of exploring of some cities, huh? So here's the town of Leyawiin. I like the appearance of it. It's got a lot of greenery. The buildings have like a very kind of rustic look to them. The kind of like color scheme-ish of the town is like yellowish, because like a lot of the buildings are kind of painted yellowy. Here is the player home that I would maybe like to get for my character. Again, I kind of like it because it is a sort of more modest size. There's like a handful of houses you can get in this game for your character that are kind of too big, I think. Like they're like mansions. They're like small mansions or like small castles or keeps, kind of. And I want something that's like kind of like more rustic, I guess. I also like kind of like nearby to the house, there's like a beautiful looking pond. Can I pick these flowers? No. I love the look of anywhere near water. It's very kind of like calming. It's, what would you call it? It's, relaxing, calming, not therapeutic, but I'm trying to think of like something like meditative. I don't know. You kind of get what I'm saying. What I want to know what the like you see some like interesting statues in some of the towns. I'd be very interested to like learn more about what the statues represent. It's a little, it's not like you'd have to like know. There have been a couple towns that I've gone into where I've spoken to every character in town and they don't even mention the statue. In each town is like at least one statue, I believe. So I'd like to learn the lore of the various statues to know whom they represent. Anyway, you can see Leyawiin's quite a nice place. I also like Leyawiin because it is like on the very southern like tip of this region of Cyrodiil. The surrounding area is called the Black Wood, if I'm not mistaken. I was gonna say Black Marsh, but that's just the neighboring province where all the filthy lizard people are from. Speaking of which, one of the reasons why I wanted to maybe not move to this town...
Morning.
...is because,
Hi there.
because this town is very diverse, it would seem. It's geographically very close to elsewhere, where the Khajiit are from, and also to Black Marsh, where the Argonians are from. Don't really care much for the beast races, shall we say. Oops. This is a tavern run by Khajiit, I guess. This one's wearing no shoes.
Have mercy. Just one coin.
A Khajiit beggar. Gee. Who would have guessed? Argonian. Argonian. This is like a wood elf. Khajiit. Who's this guy over here? This is a Khajiit, I'm pretty sure.
Hi there.
Hi there. I'm summing up sort of the diversity in town. One of the lesser diverse towns in the game is Bruma, which is in the far north. It is very close to the border of Skyrim, so reasonably, the town is mostly populated by Nords. The last character I made was a Nord, and I made him kind of... based there, because it kind of makes sense, because, you know, he's a Nord, so it makes sense to kind of maybe start in a very kind of Nordic kind of town. Something else I like to keep in mind or consider for where I would want to move for my character is like the uniforms of the guards. This one is a fine uniform. It's just a white surcoat with a middle kind of green sigil. It's fine. I think in Skingrad they have like pink uniforms, which I don't know if in the original game they were meant to be more like red, but like pink looks just very bad. So this is Leowin. Yep, just having a look. Another part of the town with a big pond in it. I like it. I love the look of the pond. Again, this is a good choice for a town for me because it's got a modest-sized home, and I like that. I don't want to like have like a big, huge fucking mansion or something. I guess we'll keep going around and checking out the real estate. Let's go to Bravo, just so you can have a little look. We're arriving at 4 p.m. I kind of don't like walking around with the rain as I'm trying to like look at things. All right, Bravo I actually really like the look of because it feels very rustic. All the buildings are kind of made of wood, and they all look very mossy. It looks good. The guards have a good uniform. The surcoat seems to be like maybe like a white or like an off-white or blue. Or like light blue. This town feels a tiny bit less diverse, I guess. It's got like a couple Argonians, but
how can I help?
Seems to be mainly...
How about you?
I've been better.
That's too bad.
Mainly more human races. So, I'm a bit better. It's a little bit easier of a space to occupy. But the town looks quite nice, I think. Another thing to keep in mind for choosing a town to live is like what shops are in town. As an alchemist, I'd prefer to have like an alchemy, some place that sells alchemy equipment. A store that has, I'd like a general goods store as well, and a weapon shop of some kind. Anyway, this is Braville. I quite like the look of it, but I feel like maybe this time I might not want to live in Braville. I think I made a character like 2 characters ago that was living in Braville. And I like the look of the town, but like maybe just like the meme of I'm sending you to Braville, you know, is kind of less makes the place a little less appealing, as it has like a bit of a negative association with it, perhaps. I don't know if I'd go and say I don't know if I'd go as far to say that this is a like shithole town. It looks a bit poorer, but I like the look of everything. It's like I guess the whole game really does look quite good. The graphics make me think of Dark Souls. Okay, let's check out someplace else. We already looked at the Imperial City. The main city itself, kind of very, clean, large walls, big buildings. There is like that shack that you can buy, but it's very far from like where I would spend most of my time at the markets. So it's not a great option, I think. I guess we'll go check out Shaden Hall next. Okay, let's go ahead and step into this inn. I actually really like all the inns in this game. I assume one of the reasons that they have like 2 or more inns in every town is because you need to sleep in a bed to level up. I like that system a lot. It also makes the game feel kind of more organic.
How can I help you today, friend?
Okay, I think probably this town... Ooh, my athletics just increased. Why jog when you can sprint has always been your motto. Now the miles of running and hours of swimming have paid off. You are an apprentice of athletics. You no longer regenerate less fatigue while running. I didn't know that you regenerated any fatigue while running. I thought you just lost it. I thought that was the point. So Shaden Hall. I assume because it's close to the border... I hate that it's raining. I assume that it's close to the border. Because it's close to the border with Morrowind, it ought to have like a big Dark Elf population. But I'm not sure. The guards of the town have... Their uniform is like a yellow surcoat. That looks okay, I guess. It's not too bad. Something I don't like is the town has like a purple color scheme. I appreciate that a lot of the towns kind of have like a consistency of appearance, but yeesh, purple. I guess it's kind of fantasy-esque. I like that there's like it seems to be like a river running through the town. Again, any place near water looks quite nice to me. I hate that it's raining. I'm trying to like skip ahead in time, hoping the rain passes, but I don't know. Doesn't really help.
It's you. Hi.
It's you. Yeah, very nice looking town. I think this is the house you can buy. I think this is it. Pretty sure. It's one of the larger houses you can get in the game, I believe. It's a nice location, but again, it's too big for me. I guess I'm just kind of stopping here to show what the town looks like and to present my case for not living here. No, thank you. I don't wanna. Too purple. Also, just kind of interested in seeing what the town demographics look like.
Annoying creature.
Quite a few.
Greetings.
Quite a few orcs. Quite a few orcs in town.
How goes it?
I don't know you, and I don't care to know you.
Yes?
Quite a few orcs in the town.
Good afternoon.
Pretty big orc presence here.
Hi there.
I mean, it's kind of a nice looking place with all the houses are painted, some purple, and there's a lot of flowers growing everywhere. It does look kind of nice. I guess diversity-wise, it is a sort of reasonable level of a reasonable proportion of people, of groups. I guess if we're going to all the towns, might as well stop in at Bruma. I've already sort of decided not to live here. It's like, I like that there's like a northern town, just to have some variety with snow and everything, but yeah, I won't be trying to live here again, because again, I just want to, doesn't make sense for like a non-Nord, I think. This town is like mostly Nords with some, I think, Imperials. It's a little bit hard for me to tell, I guess, like, to distinguish sometimes between like Imperials and Bretons. I think you just kind of have to look at the names. Bretons kind of have like a fancier English, French type name, typically. And again, I mean, for every town, I like the aesthetics. There's like a decent amount of variety and sort of uniqueness to them. Most of the buildings in this town are made of like logs. Looks pretty good. But again, I won't be choosing this place to live. But the house, this is the player house here that you can buy. It's also a good size. It's like not too intimidating. All right, moving on. Chorrol. Chorrol is, I think, it's a nice choice. It could be a nice choice. The house in town is one of the larger ones, so I don't know if I...
They say that when you murder someone, the Dark Brotherhood comes to you in your sleep.
I don't know if I want to be living here, but this might be like a top contender just because it is a sort of a nice looking area. Let's advance time until daytime. Okay. Am I pronouncing this town right? Chorrol? It's raining again.
Greetings.
The Fighters Guild is a good place.
The Fighters Guild. This appears to be the castle over here. This town, like, to me, has an aesthetic like a medieval English sort of town, I think. With the stone walls, and like in the middle of town there's like a field kind of. I was over here earlier and like I was looking around, there's like no alchemy ingredients in the town at all. This lady has a couple dogs. The Mages Guild does sell alchemy stuff, though. Over here... Oh, so the guards have a blue surcoat. Blue, I think, is a fine color for, like, kind of a surcoat for armor for knights or guards or what have you. Here's the player home. Again, it's a little on the larger side. It's like as big as like the Mages Guild. This home, it's like too rich and fancy looking for me. I think too big.
How do you do?
What's new with you?
As I said, I want something more modest generally, but I do really like the
Hello.
everything else about this town. The town of Coral, maybe. Everything else about this town is quite nice. The town looks nice. I don't know if the color aesthetic of the town is yellow, because I thought Leowin was the yellow town, but...
Greetings, Brett.
Whatever. Everything else in town looks quite nice. I guess every town in this... Everything in this game looks very nice. Yeah, so not a bad place. I could see myself living in this town, but I just don't like the house choice. I was also looking up online if you could like get any houses for free, in the sense that if you cleared a house of like its occupant, of its owner, or you completed a quest or something, and then like the house became unoccupied, for example, can you then live in it and like have like a container to safely store things? There are a few houses like that in this game, and I looked it up, and I don't think there are any in this town particularly. But yeah, I do really like. I like the setting of this place. It has like a very good traditional kind of fantasy feel. Is this guy Naki? An orc with a bow.
Hello. I don't think we've met.
Hello.
Are you new in town?
Yes. First option. None of your business. Yes, I am new in town.
Likewise. I'm always glad to meet someone new. Welcome. I'm sure my mother would be glad to meet you as well.
Mother.
My mother owns Northern Goods and Trade in Coral. I was in Cheydinhall last week, and I'm sure I saw Renaud Germain. He acted like he didn't know me, though. Yes, it's quite odd. Reynald, who I've bumped into several times in Coral, acted like I was a complete stranger. Also, he seemed sober, which is a refreshing change. Usually, Reynald is stumbling around Coral drunk as can be. Very odd, but then it's really none of my business.
Reynald.
Bye.
That sounds like a Breton name. This could be like more of a Breton city. As, oh, maybe not. Cyrodiil doesn't actually border High Rock. It borders Hammerfell. You know what's interesting? It seems to me that there are very few Redguards in this game. Of all the races, I feel like I see Redguards almost the least. Which I don't have much of a problem with, considering all the Redguards, wink wink, in every other piece of media these days.
With house dress. Together they pick apart the carcass of ruined Indoril.
It's not surprising, considering Morrowind's violent past. We can only hope the troubles subside.
So I do really like the layout of this town. It's like got such a nice traditional fantasy look to it. It's like it's got like high stone walls, but like it's got like enough green and kind of like mossy feel to it that it also like kind of fits my interest in nature. Something else as well. Let me run over to this gate. Yeah, the area outside of the town is called the Great Forest. Which sounds great. For like a fantasy setting, I love like the concept of a big forest. And I gotta say, it looks like one. It does. Pretty much, it looks like a great forest. I have not actually seen this side of the city. Like, what's cool about this game is like Oblivion has so much content that I haven't seen before. As I mentioned, I played through the original, but I like rushed it, and I just like mainly did the main quest line plus the arena, the Mages Guild, and I think the Thieves Guild, and that was it. And the Shivering Isles and Knights of the Nine, but that was it. So most of this game I really haven't touched or looked at all. So like, I'm like, I love to like kind of explore and experience new stuff in this game, and it's great. I love that they made this remaster. It really is a fantastic opportunity for me to appreciate Morrowind more. Because the main thing, I talked about this before, but like one of the main things that kept me from appreciating and enjoying Morrowind, the original, was that I just really didn't like the graphics, like the look of the game. I just couldn't get into it. Like it had like, it was like too bright and like sort of colorful, and it had like this bloom to the whole thing. I just didn't like it, and like all the, you know, I can't blame it because it is a game from 20 years ago. Like all the NPCs were ugly, stuff like that. But But what's weird is that I really, really liked Morrowind because it had like kind of like a darker aesthetic to it that was just very intriguing, and it had the setting was just it just felt like very alien and different. And the initial release of the game had this mechanic where there was like this fog that like 50 feet in front of you there would just be like a fog at all times because like it would keep you from seeing the game world loading in, right? There are kind of like more recent releases or like the version of the game on PC, or you can get like mods that properly load the game in without the fog. But I played Morrowind on Xbox, so it had that fog, but it really did enhance the atmosphere of the game to make it feel like more mysterious and like eerie. Oblivion, the original Oblivion though, just felt I don't know, it felt like a dream. But like not like a satisfying dream, like a dream I wanted to wake up from, and I was like, well, it's a dream, I guess, but I gotta get out of here. I don't know, something like that. But now I love this remake so much because like it took the main thing that I was criticizing about Oblivion, like the appearance of it, and just it completely reworked it. So this game now looks amazing, and it has a ton of excellent content and story and writing and mechanics that I can now just like properly fully enjoy. So I'm really, really liking this game. Anyway, man, I am glazing. I am what's the term? I'm really going on about how much I enjoy this game while standing in this town, because I really like the look of this town so much. So I might just have to bite the bullet and get this stupid big house because I like the look of this town so much. I guess the benefit to buying a larger house earlier on is that the benefit would be that like if you were like a new player kind of starting out, you might want like a home to store things in, so you might want to like buy one of the cheaper houses, right? But then later on you'd probably feel like you need to upgrade to have like a proper kind of like mansion or castle or something, so you could feel like you're like actually living up to your amassed wealth. So potentially if I just went straight to buying a larger house, I would not feel the need later on to upgrade from a small house to a larger house. Know what I'm saying? You feel me? I want to look around more at what sorts of people live in this town. I wonder if there's a mechanic in this game where people don't go out if it's raining. I feel like I read about that somewhere. I don't know if that was in Skyrim or like Daggerfall, but I thought maybe that was a thing. In like one of these games, they had a mechanic where just fewer people would be out when it was raining. It might have been in Daggerfall, I don't know. So, as we spoke to that Argonian lady earlier, the name of this town is pronounced Coral.
How goes it?
Coral.
Hello! The Chestnut Handy Stables now offers to protect your horse. Seems handy enough.
I've heard others say the same.
You looked it up?
Hello.
No fun.
How about mixing up some potions? You look like quite the alchemist.
Ah, so you're an alchemist then.
Well met.
You looked it up? No fun. Oh, I looked up houses. That's what I looked up.
I understand Daedra worship has become increasingly...
I'll look up sort of mechanical things like that, like, how many armor sets are in the game, how do you do enchanting, stuff like that. Where do I get a house? But if it's like quests or something like that, I will not look up anything because I want to proceed organically and naturally. But I'll look up stuff just to kind of like learn like how best to do things, but not everything, I guess. I don't want because it's a little bit conflicting because I want to learn how to be effective and efficient, but I also don't want to spoil things. So it's like I have like arbitrary I have sort of arbitrary conditions for like what would be okay for me to like read about for like a game. At least the way I play Skyrim, I do build a home, usually by Falkreath, but I almost never go there. I adopt a child and marry someone and never go home. Yeah. In Skyrim, it was cool because they introduced that one DLC where you could build a house. Actually, they had it was the Hearthfire DLC, and they gave you 3 plots of land that you could build on. And then the next game they had was Fallout 4, where you could like just build anything you wanted, any way you wanted, in like a series of settlements. And then in Fallout 76, they furthered that by like letting you build anywhere in the game. And then in Starfield they kind of expanded that by letting you build like colonies, kind of. But I didn't. I really don't know enough about like Starfield and their building system. But this whole sort of building a home kind of concept started in Skyrim, and like they sort of let you build, but like you had to you just gathered the materials, and then you just would tell the house to build itself, kind of. Like you're not really building, but like it's like you have to put the effort into it, kind of. But yeah, I've done that too, where it's like, oh, I like the area around Falkreath, and Falkreath doesn't have a house in its own city. So, why not build a player home next to it? But it's true. It's because you kind of have a point where it's like you build the house and you put the effort into making a nice homestead by Falkreath, but you don't go there because it's like it's not in town, you know? Like why would you ever need to go there? It's outside of the it's like kind of a ways outside of the town. So like you'd prefer to like actually be in the town so that you can, you know, go to shops and sell your loot and stuff like that. So to me, I prefer to like actually like live inside of a town rather than like farther away from one. And even in like Oblivion here, there are like expansions that they had where you can have like a castle, you could have like a secret thieves den cave, you could have a wizard tower, but they're all like way outside of towns. I think you might actually be able to see the wizard tower from here. Actually, maybe not. It's that way somewhere. You might not be able to see it from here. I don't think you can see it from here. It's further east. Oh wait, there it is. Yeah, you can see it. That wizard tower in the distance. You can have that as you can live there. But I wouldn't want to. It's like way too far away from like anything. Like I can't. I wouldn't feel. I'd feel like less connected to the world. But I guess like if you wanted to like role play like a cool, powerful wizard, that would be like a good idea. But yeah, I like having like a town, a house in town, so you can sell my loot and like, you know, buy stuff if I need it from merchants.
Wouldn't being far away not be a problem considering you could fast travel?
Yeah, but it doesn't feel good to like go through loading screens. That's why Starfield kind of sucked.
I thought you were just not super introvert. It feels like an introvert place, doesn't it? I remember getting it in the original, and I just love the layout. And it's also got this little room with teleporters that just allows you to go to every mage's guild ever. Like, and I was like, oh, that's kind of like a connection thing. So I like the design.
It's not even necessary because you can fast travel from the map. You don't need the teleporters.
It feels lore issue sort of thing. Like,
in Morrowind, there is no fast travel from the map. You have to use Mages Guild teleporters or hire like carriages. Well, they don't have carriages. They had Silt Striders. So
Yeah.
you'd have to hire travel to get you to fast travel.
That's why you keep having trouble getting me to play the game.
Among other things.
And like, I'm not sure if there is a mod for Morrowind that gives you fast travel.
Probably.
Well, mods at all. That game doesn't sound like it's modded.
I guarantee that it is.
Well, I hope. Because I have it on PC, untouched. And, did I tell you how many Oblivion hours I had?
How many?
293.
That's a lot. I'm gonna get more than you.
Liar.
I will.
Anyway, what if I install Oblivion right now and
If you reinstall Oblivion and you play your Oblivion as much as I'm playing my Oblivion, then yes, you would always have more hours than me. But if you don't do that, I will overtake you.
You are funny.
I already have. Hold on. How many hours do I already have in this? Probably I probably have like 20 hours in this game already. Let's see.
Dude, 20? 293. Try beating that.
Yeah, but like this game came out like a week and a half ago.
Well,
Oh no. Oh wait, hours played 71.
huh. 20 you thought.
71. So I'm already like a third of the way to you. I spent like 3 hours customizing this one character. Like I would like adjust the size of the mouth, and then I'd like leave the sewer, and then I'd reload the save, and I'd adjust like the nose or something.
Well, here is one thing. You remember how at the con you saw the cosplayer of the Adoring
Which at the con?
Fan? Well, Fan Expo, I think. There was the Adoring Fan. It was specifically in the...
Oh yeah, that was at Fan Expo. There was an Adoring Fan cosplay.
And they asked him how much Oblivion hours he had, because, hey, why not? And he said like 301, and I was like, 293, and we're so close! So I found it pretty neat how this Adoring Fan had a very close amount of hours to me.
Well, I guess he likes the game more than you.
Maybe just a little more. But hey, that game really helped me through COVID. That's when I was playing
what is it?
And it was like a little Skyrim, you know?
I have heard that
just,
Nord
you know,
warriors have
less
traveled
deeps,
from
but
Skyrim with
expected,
orc
especially from
mercenaries
its
to
time.
assault the Veteran
So,
of Morrowind.
yeah, that's why I'll say like that.
fighting
I
for the
spent a
Nords?
lot of
This
time
is
in
sad
Shivering
news.
Isles because I
Be
just
seeing
love
ya.
the design. Like, especially, like, for the time being, for the old graphics, they were able to make the levels look beautiful. And, yeah, so once you get there, once you get to the Shivering Isles in this game, please show me. I really want to see what it looks like. I don't have the game. I want to see what it looks like.
Okay.
I'm getting my pickles.
Gotta keep with the stereotypes, you feel me? Oh yeah. Why is Slav GF dressed like the ocean? Because she likes the ocean?
Because I keep shells in the bathroom.
She does keep shells in the bathroom. Like in Demolition Man. It's a joke from that movie about, in the future, they don't use toilet paper, and Sylvester Stallone goes into the bathroom, he's like, oh, I didn't know how to go. They, had these shells. They had these seashells. And the character tells him, oh yeah, you use those to wipe. Okay, so here we are in Skingrad.
Over here.
Over here. Why is that guy sliding? Okay.
Yes, you. We need to talk. We can't talk
I think he's a
here.
wood elf.
Too public. Meet me behind the great chapel at
The great chapel.
Don't let anyone follow you. I'll make it worth your while.
Ooh, he's gonna suck me off. Follow me behind the chapel. I'll make it worth your while. Okay, so here we are in Skingrad. Another potential place to live. So this is like a very like castle town kind of feel. Besides the Imperial City, this like might feel like the biggest town because it's got big buildings and it's got a lot of you know, it's all made of stone.
Can't you see that I'm very busy?
I think this right here, yeah, this right here is the house that you could buy, Rosethorn Hall.
Have pity, sir.
It's I think it is the biggest house you can buy in the game. You can also get a steward or like maid or whatever for your house. It just feels, I don't know, this town feels like too urban for me, I think. The streets are very narrow, the houses are very tall, the buildings are very tall, everything's made of stone. Also, you can see, I was talking earlier, the guards' uniforms are pink.
Hello.
Doesn't look good.
Hi there.
Pink is a terrible color for a guard.
What is it now?
I don't know. I should look up if in the original game.
Have pity on an old war veteran.
Okay, let me look up. Let's see. Oblivion. Skingrad. Guard. No, it looks like in the original Oblivion. In the original Oblivion, they had like a almost like dark red. They had like almost a dark red uniform. See? Dark red. Dark red-ish. Why in this remake did they make them pink? If I remember correctly, the count of this town is a the count of this town is a vampire. So it kind of makes sense that the
It's you. Hi.
the sigil of this town is like the moon to represent night, you know, when vampires can come out. And originally, the guards had a like dark red, almost blood red uniform, surcoat, and now it's pink. I don't know, it's stupid. Anyway, this is the player house you can get. I think it's too big. I don't know how I feel like about like a castle town like this. I prefer the architecture in this city to the architecture in the imperial capital. The architecture, the architecture in the city feels kind of more traditional, medieval European, with these like sort of cobbled like stone kind of look. In the Imperial City, it's got you know, more of like a not otherworldly kind of look to the architecture, but it's more fantastical, I guess. And that's because the city was built by the Aelids, the race of elves that were there before, like thousands of years ago. They enslaved men and tortured them and other horrible things. And then, you know, there's a slave revolt and uprising, and they killed all the Aelids. And yeah, and then they took over the capital. So that's why the capital city kind of looks more, I guess, fantastical. Whereas this castle town kind of feels more, again, traditional. So this is a fine looking castle town, I would say. But it's a little bit too urban feeling for me. Okay, one town left. Let's go have a look at Anvil. I already also know that I don't want to live in Anvil either. Are we finally gonna play the game? Brody looks like a corpse. Oh, he's a beggar. Oh, gee. Have you heard Yee's new song? I did. I was talking about that yesterday. Kanye West's new song. I saw somebody post about how once people know you as being edgy, like anything you do after that, like, doesn't come as a surprise anymore. So it's kind of like, you know, after Kanye had been like saying and doing like very kind of like crazy things, him coming out with this song is like not big news, because it's not very big news, because people are like, well, yeah, that's crazy Kanye again. He's just doing his thing. But it's really, but like this, I don't know, this thing that he did, I feel like, and like every month with Kanye now, it feels like he's being less and less ironic, you know? But part of it just feels like he's just trying to be spiteful and not really ironic. He's just trying to be edgy because he's mad. He's angry at you know, some people maybe. You know, the part of the lyrics for the song was like, they took all my money and I can't see my kids, or something like that. So it really just does feel like he's just really angry. So he's just trying, it feels like he's just trying to like lash out in like the most offensive, like in like an offensive way that he can. Cause, for shall we say, his demographic group in America, those people are generally treated with kid gloves. So like, there's not a lot. It's very actually kind of surprising, because there's not a lot that those people can do that is like too shocking that people will actually be upset about it, as evidenced by kind of recent actions with people from that group, shall we say. So I think that Kanye is like purposefully trying to just be like as shocking as he can, to sort of get a reaction. It's a very sort of childish, I think, sort of mindset, because like what children believe is that a negative reaction from their parents is better than no reaction. Because like if children kind of feel like they're not getting enough attention from their parents, like they'd rather get negative attention than no attention, I think is the idea. So Kanye kind of feels like he's doing something like that, where he's just like, he's angry at someone or some group, and so he's like lashing out, and he's trying to be like as offensive as he can be because he wants to have a reaction. But it's also very bizarre in other ways, because like we're at such a weird point in like this culture that like it feels like we're at a weird point for a couple reasons. One, this thing that Kanye did with his song it doesn't feel surprising because he's already done so many crazy things. And two, it's like, you know, 20 years ago, you never would have thought that a artist like him would have done something like this. So it's very odd, but I think that there is a reason for it. But it's also, but I want to also point out, I've mentioned this concept before, that 20 years ago, if you called someone a racist, they would have been like, no, it's not true. I'm not racist. I'm not. How dare you say I'm racist? I'm so offended that you call me a racist. I'm not racist. I'll prove it to you. I'm not. It's a misunderstanding. But like now if you call someone a racist, they're like, oh yeah? And? So? And part of that is because they've diminished sort of the meaning of the word. And also because I think of overreactions to sort of simple observations that would have been considered not a big deal 20, 30 years ago, even maybe 15 years ago. You would make an observation about someone or a group of people, and people will be like, well, it's true, but maybe you shouldn't say that. And then people, you know, like 10 years ago would say like, oh, that's racist. I'm going to try and ruin you. I'm going to try and destroy your career and make you have a terrible reputation. You're racist. How dare you? You should be dead. And, I mean, that's a bit aggressive, but, like, also there's just been kind of, like, an overabundance of sort of unnecessary, usage and, directing of, like, that sort of term to be applied to people. And not just people, but also concepts and things. Like, I was reading a story from, like, just, I think a few years ago. A black woman, I guess working in an office, she was late to work 47 times. And they fired her for it. And so she sued the company and said that it's racist to make someone show up to work on time. And she won the lawsuit. She won, like, $11 million in court. So it's like people are getting like so sick of like these not just double standards, but also like this just total lack of reason and logic and fairness applied to everyone, and also like a total disregard for or just a total sort of willful ignorance of just like, you know, some groups are committing more violent crimes. So we're gonna let them go. We're just gonna forget about it. We're gonna raise $500,000 for this person that killed somebody. So, you know, stuff like this. It's just like, what is going on? What is this clown world that we're in right now? It's a very weird time. So, to my point, people I think are more tolerant of being called racist because it's just like, it's like a half of it is a yeah and I'm right. You didn't call me a liar. And then it's just also like, all right, I'm sick of all this. You know, you call waking up early racist. Like, what of it, right? It's an overuse of the sentiment, and people are like tired of it, right? So with this Kanye thing, I mentioned this before, but my concept is like when you kind of overuse these concepts and phrases. Again, like 20 years ago, if you called someone racist, they would have been offended, and today they're not as offended as they were, because people are just kind of getting sick of these standards. So the types of people that would, you know, call out racism, these like, you know, social justice warriors as they were called 10 years ago, they kind of like realized as of 5 or 7 years ago that calling people racist wasn't enough. So then they started calling people fascist and Nazis. So you'll see that like whenever these, I guess mainly lefties, when they disagree with people, they'll call them a fascist or a Nazi, or when they don't like them because they do not see their point of view, that's what they'll do. So kind of my theory is that in the next 10-ish years, people will not have a problem with being called fascist or Nazi, because people like that will have overused the phrase in the same way that they've overused racism or racist. And there's definitely, I would say, an increase in sort of like racist, you could say ideology or racist observations or remarks or actions that are occurring in the world. Like people are pointing out I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of like my own social media algorithms pointing this out to me. But I'm seeing like a lot more sort of radicalizing racial issues popping up. But this is driven not just by crime; it's also driven by immigration and kind of forcing groups of people together, kind of in a very quick way. It is kind of creating a larger, maybe proportion of racists, because the integration from immigrants into their countries that they move to is just not at appropriate levels, or it's happening too slow. So people are kind of the native populations of those countries are just kind of not adapting well to the new people moving there. So it is causing racial tensions, to put it lightly. So racism is becoming normalized. Racist kind of observations are becoming more normalized, and people are not really caring as much if they're being called racist. This is my theory. But again, it would have been a big deal if it would have been a much larger deal 20 or so years ago. So now I think the same thing is happening about fascism. And so what's interesting is that Kanye is not leading the charge, and he's not necessarily ahead of his time, but he's kind of he's working in these sort of like early stages of like, yeah, like people kind of it's not like they don't care that they could be called Nazi, but it's just also like there is a slow trend of the normalization of Nazi or fascistic themes, at the very least, as evidenced by this new Kanye West song, right? So, again, in my view, in about 10 or 20 years, we're going to see probably like a sort of like a Hitler 2. And maybe we might not see anything as drastic as a Hitler or a Holocaust, but we're going to see. My prediction is that we're going to see a definite sort of upswing in right-wing populism. Is that what we would call it? Because there's a few reasons for that. You know what they say: people who do not learn their history are doomed to repeat it. History repeats itself. Stuff like that. So. Famously, fascism was created as a reaction to communism. And, I mean, you see every day these lefties in the news are just, like, doing these, like, totally, like, radical acts, like burning down Teslas and rioting on behalf of, like, literal terrorist organizations and things like that. And normal people are like, what the hell is going on? This is not good. Like, why are we tolerating this? So this is I feel like we could be seeing a sort of a Hitler 2 type situation, maybe in a few countries, because we have like these like weird, crazy lunatics. And these lefty lunatics are also associated with radical environmentalism goals, right? They want to weaken countries and economies, energy sectors and economies by, totally removing like all reliance on oil and gas. And I don't think people generally like to live in a country where there are brownouts and rolling blackouts. This is a thing. This just happened in Spain and Portugal a few weeks ago. Australia was also facing something similar not too long ago. Germany was under threat of this, so people are kind of getting sick of it. But it's a ideology mainly pushed by the left. So these are a few reasons why I think people are getting sick of a movement that is very similar to communism in Europe in the 1920s. Another thing that could push right-wing populism. Is it populism or popularism? Anyway, these populist right-wing kind of groups or political parties. Something that could also push them into power is the economy. also famously, is that the Nazis' rise to power was facilitated by the Germany losing World War I, and they had to sign the Treaty of Versailles, I believe, which forced Germany to pay massive reparations for the war. And it was like the amount of money they had to pay back to the countries they invaded. I guess you could maybe picture that as fair, but it was like way too much of a burden for, I believe, Germany to deal with. So they rapidly industrialized, and like Time magazine, in like 1933 or like 1938 or 39, I forget, they called Hitler in Time magazine, Hitler was man of the year because he was such an efficient leader for the country in Germany. Not to praise Hitler, I'm not endorsing the guy, but at the time people liked him because he very effectively turned the country around and sort of successfully moved the country in a positive direction economically and socially. And then of course, Nazis also kind of came into power because they came together out of spite. No, not out of spite, but to spite. Maybe not to spite, but out of, famously, infamously, they were like a hateful, bigoted group, right? And they despised, Jews and maybe gypsies. So, the Holocaust, right? So something similar could happen with right-wing popularism because of immigration. The push for immigration is happening way too quick, and it's causing people to become like massively resentful. And this is real. There are increasing amounts of protests against immigration. And, they say, to make it sound like not so bad, they say we're against mass immigration. But realistically, it's like, even if you decrease the numbers to just under what you would qualify as a mass immigration, it's still too much. Especially because most of the people immigrating are not properly integrating. If you look at Sweden as a excellent example. But yeah, there was a protest in Ireland a couple weeks ago. I don't know if it was led by Conor McGregor, but I think he believes he was involved at the very least. It was like 100,000 people, 100,000 effectively, I think, white Irish protesting mass immigration, and it was a good protest because it was a peaceful protest, and it was a good show of solidarity that they don't want they don't want the immigration, they don't want any more of it, they're sick of it. To their credit, the Irish economy, I think, is like doing pretty well, comparatively speaking. I think they're doing well than England. I think they're definitely doing better than Canada. They're tired of the immigration. They say Ireland for the Irish, and they fought. A few. They also. The thing is that Ireland has a greater sense of like nationalism and unity partly because they fought a fair amount, like a handful of fairly recent like revolutions. So it's still pretty closely ingrained into their like national identity and national history that like they fought for independence so that they could have a homeland for their people and not so much for foreigners, or as they would maybe describe them as foreign invaders. And I can't blame them. We would feel similarly here, but Canada does not have a strong national identity. Or at least I would have said that half a year ago, but then, like, all of Canada came together to protest against American, imperialism, effectively, which I think was short-sighted and misinformed. What's funny is that the whole Canadian election, this recent election that we had, the center of the debates was about the American president Donald Trump and his threatening gestures toward Canada and the Canadian economy by imposing tariffs on our country. I would agree, unfairly so. And he would joke about Canada becoming the 51st state and things of that nature, which I think, probably a bit, again, undeserved, that sort of commentary or comments. But I think that the Canadian people were kind of short-sighted when it came to this election, as they made this election like the primary concern was like America taking over in Canada, which is not a realistic concern, I think. And I say people are short-sighted because, the Canadian economy isn't doing well, but that's not because of American tariffs, from a couple months ago. It's because of 10 or so years of, terrible management. I don't want to get too much into all the things I'm kind of pessimistic about or cynical about when it comes to Canadian politics, but I think just last week, newly I don't know if I can say newly elected Prime Minister Mark Carney, but Mark Carney, who is the Prime Minister, maybe I could say formally recognized Prime Minister Mark Carney, went to go meet with Trump, and his whole campaign, he wasn't campaigning against an opposing political party in Canada. He was campaigning against Trump, which is ridiculous, I think. But it worked. I'm shocked it worked, which is very stupid. I gotta say, shame on the boomers of Canada. They literally just sit around and watch TV all day, and the TV tells them Trump bad. So that's how they voted. But yeah, so Carney's whole campaign was about how he was going to stand up to Trump, and he said twice that Canada's relationship with America is over. He said that shortly after the Liberal Party elected him as the Liberal Party leader, and then he said that again after he won the election. He said the relationship that Canada has with the U.S. is over. He said that twice that I know of. And then he went to go meet with Trump last week, and they were smiling and laughing, and Trump was joking about the 51st state thing. And they were talking about how they had a good meeting and stuff like that, and they took a picture together, and they were smiling, and they were both giving a thumbs up, and it's just kind of like, this doesn't really seem like an oppositional relationship. It just seems like a reasonable political, discussion, or a reasonable political sort of relationship between two countries, two neighboring countries that have had good relationships forever, really. Well, since, I'll say for 100 years at least.
Hello. Good to see you. What's going on with you?
So, I don't know. I'm kind of annoyed at the people who voted for Carney because I don't know how they feel. I assume that they are deluded into thinking that the meeting with Trump was somehow to their benefit, or to their, like Canada was in charge kind of view. I've seen some people speaking like that. But, I don't know how they would feel, because, they voted because they thought that Carney was the candidate that would have the stronger defense or stronger plan to oppose America and Trump. But, again, they met last week, and they were, really kind of buddy-buddy there. So, that's not how it looks to me. I think y'all were fooled. So it's kind of irritating. Because it's irritating because, as I was saying, the American tariffs are like not even the biggest. They're seriously not the largest concern. Not even Trump is the largest concern for the average Canadian. The average Canadian is concerned about cost of living, housing prices, losing jobs to immigration. Like, these are real concerns. Crime as well. A couple years ago, there's a famous video. A couple years ago, there was a police chief, I think it was a police chief or a police representative in my city of Toronto, who they came out with a video, and they were telling people there's an increase in, like, break-ins in people's homes, like robberies. And they said these burglars, they mostly are just going and breaking into homes to steal cars. So if they break into your home, just, like, let them take your car. Like leave your. They said it's better to leave your keys out in the open in like a visible place, so they can take your car and like leave as quickly as possible. So there's like less of a confrontation. How about you maybe work on a plan to keep them, to disincentivize theft? How about that? It seems like you're actually incentivizing it. How about like you have. Oh damn! I almost died from jumping off that roof. What is this, real life? Alright, what y'all saying? Have you heard Yee's new song? But have you listened to it? Yeah. I can't I can't sing the chorus, but like the chorus is kind of catchy. I can't sing, I just can't. I can't say the first word. You know, it's the N-word, and then the second phrase would probably get me banned if I said it. But it is the new Kanye song. It's kind of catchy, yeah. I've seen some people saying the same thing, but it's I already kind of yapped about the interesting sort of cultural implications of what we're seeing. That shit slaps. He's got my attention. I've been hearing it all day. A black woman. I immediately don't believe you. Let's see. I wanted to go speak to the Duke of Coral to ask him how much a house is worth.
How do you do?
Then we'll go to the nearby mine outside of town, and we will see how effective my poisons are. A black being late to work. Fake news. Bruh, I don't have time to wait no 10 years. How about I don't care now that I'm called racist or Nazi? Yeah, well, I mean, quite a few of us young guys have bigger things to worry about. You know, we're concerned about the safety and security of our communities and the, you know, economic factors, the economic landscape of our nations. Like, that's kind of our biggest concern. We don't really kind of care about these social issues. I'm itching for a civil war again. We might be winning the woke wars, but not fast enough to my liking. I'm very this like war on woke is very fascinating. In about 3 years, it'll probably be like. In about 3 years, the impact of woke will be like negligible. I'm guessing we're gonna see a lot of movies, a lot of like big movies and like TV kind of returning to normal production. I hope. We'll see. Actually, Hollywood might be like the last vestige, the last kind of holdout of like these thoughts. The problem is that, like, you know, they're losing a lot of money on these like shitty movie and TV projects. But like in a lot of other institutions, they're throwing away these like silly, stupid ideas that hardly benefit anyone really meaningfully. I think also especially for the next American election, the prediction will be that the left is going to... The left ought to be, the Democrat Party ought to try to be more moderate. To the Liberal Party's credit here in Canada, they definitely try to be more moderate. I remember during the Prime Minister debates, there was a reporter that asked Mark Carney a question, and he said, how many genders are there? And then Mark Carney was like, in terms of the sexes, there are 2. I mean, it's suspected. I'm cautiously optimistic that I'm hoping that Carney is more of a moderate. I will find out. The skepticism and the concern is that he's faking his moderate kind of views so that for 2 reasons. One, that he can try and pull in some moderate conservatives kind of over to his side. Or the other thing is that this party will not do very well in the next 9 to 18 months, and we'll have another election soon. And then he will trick more people into believing that he's really moderate. And then in this next election, he'll actually win a majority instead of a minority. And then he'll really, this is the worry amongst conservatives, is that then he'll really be able to do what he wants. Because I've heard that how it works in the Canadian government is that if you have a minority government, the government really just doesn't get much done because the political parties mostly vote alongside their own party's interests. So if like a liberal party proposes like a plan, then the conservatives will all vote against it, sort of thing, and then the plan won't get passed. I think that's how I've heard it works, something like that. Are you the Duke? Oh, I think I missed the Duke or the Count or whatever. I think they only hang around until 6. What's this glowing shit? I can just open this? Oh, that's stealing. It's worth 1,000 gold, though. I'm surprised it's not locked up. I'm not gonna take it because I don't want to be a bad boy. So yeah, the war on woke, very interesting. I would love to see like a documentary on this woke on the woke culture coming and going and dying in like the next 3 years. I'd love to see like a documentary. It's really funny. Like, it's almost scary that people now are denying some of the things that happened during COVID, like how parks were locked down and how they made it illegal to go to like the beach, and they closed off. They went so far as to like blockade off like park benches and things like that to keep people from spending time outside. And of course they had, more harsh policies, like I think in the winter of 2020, if they caught you going over to your relative's house for like Christmas dinner, they'd arrest you. In some countries, like the UK, I think that happened. And some people are denying that those things happened. So I'd be it's scary to think that like people's memories are so short.
What is it?
Or they're so like easily manipulated by propaganda that like it was like mainly kind of one political side that was doing these things. So like they're like so sort of propagandized into like trusting whatever their party, whatever their side, whatever their intentions are, that like they don't even want to admit to anything negative that has or could happen. So I could certainly believe that in like 5 years people will be denying that like woke practices were ever in effect. Some people deny it now, I think. They're like, oh, this isn't woke, this is just empathetic. This is just fair and equitable. Whoops. It said the E in DEI. E. Woke and DEI. Interesting. I know that they got rid of affirmative action, like, legally, a couple years ago, and they wanted affirmative action to be, around for only about, like, 15 years to kind of give, you know, black professionals, like, a chance to,
Have pity, sir.
a chance to get their careers going. But they had like affirmative action in place, like, officially for like 20 or 25 years, and they found that, like, it really didn't make much of a difference at all in hiring practices or in career growth. So DEI hiring and DEI in, like, colleges and universities, I assume, I'm guessing that probably we will see similar studies or similar results. In about, like, 5 years, maybe 10 years, we'll see, like, oh, so this sort of empathetic, kind of nice, polite way of trying to treat everyone, or some people, extra fairly, actually was not as efficient as it could be. Speculation, of course, but you know what they say about, like, right-wing science or right-wing studies. It feels true. Itching for a civil war. There is a YouTube video essayist called, his channel is called What If All This? And he's made like quite a few very interesting videos. That he takes a good look at, like, historical precedents and statistics, and I really appreciate the sort of factual analysis he'll do. And he's like, you know, right wing, of course, but he's like, his analysis is very fair, I think. He had a video about how if there was a civil war, the right would win because conservatives are inherently stronger physically and mentally, and they tend to be either better with weapons, or they tend to accumulate or own weapons more, and like conservatives are found like in much greater numbers in, like, the military and police, and I mean, this is more kind of like represented. I mean, maybe it could be representative of different countries, but especially it's more so for, like, America, where the sort of middle of the country, where, like, most of the farming is done, right? It's all, like, if you look at, like, a map of, like, how people vote, it's like, you know, bright red for most of the middle of the country, right? And so, like, most of the people that own and operate farms are conservative. So if there was, like, a civil war between, like, the left and the right would win, and they would win easily because the right is stronger, the right is more well equipped, and the right has, like, kind of the resources and logistics that would allow them to win handily. And it would be kind of, I don't think a civil war would happen along those lines necessarily, because it would be, you can't just, like, separate the country kind of, like, into, like, left and right, like, politically, like, geographically, to, like, actually start a conflict. It would be very kind of difficult to do. But, like, as a good example, Kyle Rittenhouse, he was attacked by 3 far-left lunatics, and, you know, it was 3-on-1, right? And he took them all down, right? So that's kind of a good kind of, like, small example, I guess. Small-scale example. That's very anecdotal, though, I guess. But yeah, like for the first American Civil War, like geographically, it made sense because like you had the North and the South, and they were fighting for like their own versions of a nation that they believed in, right? So a civil war, if it happened today, it would be fought by like a left-wing party and a right-wing party sort of thing. But for most countries, like in any given area, it's almost half and half. Conservative and liberal, and even then, it's like only the like far left and far right would probably even want to consider fighting, and that would be like practically a minority, I would think. But even then, most of the far left, they're mostly women and people with like disabilities, so. If you took like the strongest far lefty and put them up against the strongest far righty, I don't think, or I would say even like the 10. If you took, I'm trying to think like strongest versus strongest. It's hard to say. Like it's hard to like judge like a strongest versus strongest competition. But let's say if you took 10 random far left people and 10 random far right people, who's likely to win in that fight in a physical battle? Who would win in that fight, do you think? I'm looking at all these like protests on like college campuses. It is mostly like women and gay men, so I think it's probably not much of a contest. So G, as a white cis man, do you back India or Pakistan? To quote Henry Kissinger, it's a shame that both sides can't lose. That is that's my stance on that. I saw a meme of the conflict where it was like a clip from SpongeBob where there were like these two armies, and one army was like loading cannons with like a bunch of filth and garbage, and the other army was like loading their cannons with a bunch of like soap. And like the meme was like, oh, India and Pakistan going to war. And I think the implication is that India is the gross one fighting with trash, which would imply that Pakistan is the clean one fighting with soap. And I'm kind of just thinking like, I think you kind of like underestimate that both countries are not very good. Neither would be good to live in, and neither has like the cleanest or best kind of like health standards. I don't know why this is difficult for people to imagine. It's just like people are like so used to Indian racism and dirty, stinky poo-poo pee-pee, but they don't think that like, oh, Pakistan being right next to it with like people that are nearly identical would be any different. Bro, you tapped in. I'd be singing that shit out loud. Well, I can't, but it's yeah, part of that's that new Kanye song is a little bit it's a bit it's catchy. Oh jeez, it's after 11 already.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I am Countess Valga of Coral. I wish I had time to chat, but I'm afraid I'm in the middle of an investigation.
I want to buy a house in town. Fuck your investigation.
I don't trust you enough to talk about that.
I don't trust you enough to talk about that.
Go ahead.
I've been watching Game of Thrones. I'm getting close to the point where they're going to try to make Jon Snow the new King of the North. And I have this meme where like it's like a caveman Wojak of Jon Snow. And like the caption is, I don't want it, never have. So I'm getting close to that point where he's like, I don't want to be king. Okay, what does she like? She likes coercing and boasting.
You've got such a that's just not. Don't try to manipulate me. That's enough. My life is that's just not. Don't waste your flattery on me. I salute you, most impressive. That's just not funny. Don't waste your. You win this one. Such adventure. I won't fight. Don't try to. Sorry, I don't get it.
All right, I'm at max disposition with her. Can I buy a house?
I'm sorry, but I don't feel comfortable telling you.
I don't feel comfortable telling you. All right, what's this investigation?
You seem the trusting type. Perhaps you can assist me.
Oh,
It
you
seems
don't trust me to buy a
someone
house,
has
though.
taken a name that is quite dear to me. I want you to help me recover a stolen painting. The painting was of my lost love, the Count Valga, and it has been stolen from my bedchamber. If you find the painting and bring the culprit to justice, you shall be justly rewarded. What say you?
It has been stolen. Yeah, sure.
Very well. I suggest you begin to gather clues. And I warn you, do not accuse the wrong person, or I shall be quite cross with you.
Or I
Here
shall
are
be
some
quite
keys.
cross.
They should allow you access to many of the restricted areas in Castle Coral.
Accuse!
When you find enough evidence, confront the person whom you believe to be the villain and see if they will confess. I do not wish them harmed, as I want the thief to face justice.
I do not want them harmed. Coral.
We're a mountain people, tough, independent. County Coral is rich in mines and timber, wool and mutton, and hard-working people.
Oh shit!
Good luck
I
investigating.
forgot. I wanted to go to the mine outside of town and try out my poison on bandits. Oh no! I wanna quit streaming soon. It's getting late, but I gotta go do some action. Oh no! I gotta get out of town. I gotta go to that mine. I gotta go try and kill some bandits with some poison. I got some bussin' poison on me. It's gonna be good. Okay, alright, okay, alright.
Greetings.
Okay, alright. We're going to the crumbling mine, which is like really just steps from the entrance to the city. Okay, alright. Into the mine. Okay, my poison ought to be good. I'm fighting level 1 enemies. Like any poison. There's a guy right there. There he is. I'm gonna put poison on my sword. I'm gonna stab him. Oh, it's a lady. Uh-oh. 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 Oh, okay. There she goes. Sucker. Since I'm really close to town, I might as well just take everything. Ooh, hold up. Hold up a second. What that right there? That's some dark elf booty butt cheeks. I think I see me some booty butt cheeks right there. There's a dark elf. She's got that booty on her. Oh yeah, she got that booty. This dark elf, she got that booty. You know what I'm saying? Ew, she got that. Ooh, what's going on in them panties? They're looking kind of stained. She got that yeast. She got that yeast up in there. I ain't touching that. I don't want to get an infection. She all yeasty and shit. Oh, hell nah. I don't want to be touching no yeasty ass pussy. Pussy. No yeasty ass pussy. Not for me. Imagine Forrest Gump. Jenny, you got a yeasty pussy.
Who's there?
I heard. Oh, what was that? I heard that Khajiit lady go, "Who's there?"
Your presence here will not be tolerated.
Oh man, I like using poison. It's funny. She's like running at me. She just falls over. Jenny, tell me about your pussy. It's got AIDS. People were saying that Jenny from Forrest Gump is the real villain of the movie. I think it was the autism. I gotta admit, people are right. You can't just, like, tell a guy you don't love them, and then only come back to them after you've gotten the AIDS. How's that fair? How's that? It's not very live, laugh, love. Okay, I think there's like 2 enemies that are interested in me. I don't know where they are, though. Ow. Ooh. Okay, I've got a second enemy somewhere, but it hasn't moved. Where did this guy come from? Didn't I come from this way? Am I crazy? Jenny, didn't you come from this way? I don't know if I can do the accent, the Forrest Gump accent very well. I mentioned earlier, or did I mention this yesterday, that I can do accents okay, but I have to, like, hear them for a bit first, so I can kind of work it out in my head. I have not watched Forrest Gump in a while. Honestly, I've watched Forrest Gump probably too much. Cause when I was growing up, on TV, there was a channel called AMC, which I think was called, it was AMC, I think it was American Movie Channel, I think that was the name of it. And, it just, like, played movies all the time. And then they got into making shows at some point, like, at some point during my... Ooh, he do be doing kind of some damage to me. How is it? Ooh, he do be healing. Oh, he do be kind of healing though. Oh shit!
Is the baby gonna cry?
Yes. So at some point, AMC started making shows. At some point during my formative years, where is this other enemy? Oh, there he is! Where does he come from? Okay, I think another helping of poison ought to do for this guy. I think poisons do in fact stack. My intelligence is being drained? By what? By these battle mechanics? Okay, he's done. He's done for. There you go. My intelligence is being drained? By what? By this weapon? Nope. What's my intelligence being drained by? Why did it say my intelligence was being drained? If I've got no active effect, what was this guy doing to me? He was making me stupid just fighting him. Anyway, so AMC started making shows, like The Walking Dead, for example. The Walking Dead might have been its most famous show, but I think they also made Mad Men. They made Breaking Bad, if I'm not mistaken, I think. So they made, like, a bunch of shows. But, when I was younger, mainly they did movies. So, like all day, that channel would just play movies, over and over. So, well, not over and over, but, like, they had, like, rotating movies or whatever. So they played, like, classics, and they played, big action blockbusters and all sorts of things. So, but they would, of course, play, like, the most popular, kind of easy-to-watch movies more frequently. So I swear to God that Forrest Gump was, like, on every week. And I watched it, like, so fucking much. Coconut shrimp, fried shrimp, shrimp salad, shrimp barbecue, shrimp on a skewer, banana shrimp, frozen shrimp, broiled, sauteed. I don't remember. Something like that. Am I done the whole mine already? Whoops. No. Am I done the whole mine? Is it all mine? What was that, like 3 bandits and 2 dogs? 2 bandits and 3 dogs? That can't be it. Before I loot, I wanted to make sure that I killed everything. Because I can only carry so much. Kind of feels like that was everything. There might be like a local map I can check. Why did I start bringing up Forrest Gump? Oh yeah, because that pussy got some yeast on it. That's disgusting. And then he meets his, and then Jenny has sex with him, and then she leaves him to become a single mother. What a horrible bitch. She finally gives him a chance and sleeps with him. And then she has a fucking... I bet it's not even his kid! I bet it's not even his. He's just too stupid to ask that question. She's like, he's yours, Forrest. Like, really? Really? What are the odds? Like, she has sex with like 100 men, and then she comes back to Forrest. Okay, here's a new place. Okay, there's a trap. Hold on. There's a trap right here. I'm trying to look around to see what this trap is. I think there's something hanging from there. It's like one of those iron balls. Yeah, real intimidating. It's like a tower built down here. So yeah, like Jenny has sex with like 100 men, and then she comes back to Forrest and like sleeps with him. She's probably like not in her right mind when that happened anyway. Oh, there's a guy. Jenny, give me some of that pussy. No, Forrest, you're too retarded.
Showing your face was the last mistake you'll ever make.
Bandit ringleader. You idiot! You fool! Showing your face was the last mistake you'll ever make. Ooh! Man, see? Level 1, poison. Easy. There was a mud crab down here. What do I get in the endgame chest? In the end dungeon chest? I get 27 gold, 2 lockpicks, and a book. Did you guys like getting books as presents or as gifts when you were a kid? I felt, I don't remember how I felt when I was a kid and I got books as gifts. I feel like I was kind of like, I kind of liked them, but also kind of not. When I was a kid, I loved Lego, so I would like really only ever want Lego for like a time. But like, but Lego came with like little instruction booklets as well. But what time of day is it? 6 p.m. Okay, I think now I've done this whole dungeon. Okay, so how many bandits were there? There were like 4 bandits and 2 wolves. Level 1 dungeon. Level 1 dungeon. Is there a distinction between a dungeon and a mine, or like a cave? Would you call a dungeon, would you call a cave a type of dungeon? I think so, right? Like, it's not like a dungeon doesn't have to be like the basement of like a fort or a castle, right? Like in like a game or like an RPG, a dungeon is just kind of meant to be like a level where you look for loot and you engage enemies. That's kind of a reasonable way to look at it, right? How much can I carry? I can carry 5 more poons. I can carry 5 more pundes. There's a spoon on that dog. Why does a dog have a spoon in its inventory? What the dog doing? What the dog spooning? What that dog spooning? Why he be spooning? Where'd that dog spoon? I saw a horrible video. I hated seeing it. There were people in a park, and oh, I'm over encumbered already. There were people in a park, and there was like a group of people. There was like 3 people, and like one of the people had like a small dog. It was like one of those like small, you know, white dogs, kind of like, you know, just a small white dog. And then like, I don't know what happened before, but like, you know, there's a black guy and he's got a German Shepherd, and in this video, like, this German Shepherd is like, he's attacking the small dog, and he's like gripped onto like the neck of this small dog, and he's like not letting go. And the person with the small dog is like trying to like get it free, and like the black guy with the German Shepherd is like trying to like hold the dog back, kinda, from like doing more damage, I guess. And then like a young guy like comes in like out of nowhere into the frame of the video, and he goes over to the German Shepherd and he like lifts the tail up and he goes, and he fucking like fingers the dog's asshole for like 20 seconds, no, like 10 seconds, and then like the dog lets go of the other dog, and I'm like, what the fuck did I just watch? I would assume that is like some sort of legitimate method for like de-aggroing a vicious dog to anally rape them. I guess like there's like, there would be like nothing probably more off-putting. Oh, they just turned 8 p.m. Shit. I guess there's nothing more off-putting to, I was gonna say a dog attacking something, but probably a dog, like anybody, any man attacking anything, any male of any species attacking anything. If they were to suddenly get anally raped, they probably would stop what they're doing. I gotta hand it to them. I gotta hand it to whoever came up with that method for disabling a dog. But like, I said that I hated watching that video. It's so gross.
Hi.
But
handy stables now offer to protect
but
your
to be
horse.
fair, they did the guy did get that dog to stop attacking the other dog. It worked. It was gross, but it worked. The problem is, I think that if you were being attacked by a dog, like the dog would be like in your face, right? So, or like, you know, facing towards you. So there'd be like no way for you to use that method. It's more of a method to use if to stop a dog from attacking someone or something else, I guess. So wait, this is not legendary difficulty no more? Yes. I will show, there's no legendary difficulty, but the highest difficulty is Master, which I am still on, as you can see. But, Poison is a very effective, way of dealing with enemies. What do you want, cat? What do you want? I'm gaming. He's come to remind me that I gotta go have dinner. So I'll probably quit here. Why wouldn't that work with any beast? Yeah, it would. Or human for that matter, you're right. We should try it, G. Nah, I'm good. Let's provoke a brother. Let's tell him to move seats, and if he attacks, fingers butthole. See if he lets up. The thing is, though, I've seen like so many videos recently of people of an ethnic persuasion. It's rarely like a one-on-one fight. It's usually like 2 or 3 or 4 or more versus one person. It makes me sick to watch. I'm kind of, part of me wants to step away from social media, cause like I just like I don't know, my algorithm keeps like showing me these videos. So now what I'm trying to do is like, cause like I used to like go through my feed and I would like 80% of what I see because I find it like interesting or whatever. So now what I would like to do probably is to like try to stop seeing content like that because it's really black-pilling me, pun intended. So yeah, I'm gonna try to like only stuff that's like maybe not so toxic, because it's like it makes me like sick and upset and like angry, but like but it's also, I can acknowledge it's warping my perception of the world around me, because like I need to remind myself that, or I'd like to think at the very least that like most people are not like, you know, not like these videos that I see, but it's difficult to get that out of my head. So I need to I need to de-radicalize myself to a degree. I need to try to find, maybe I need to try to see fewer aggressive, maybe see less content that's so aggressive and maybe more content that's more funny. That's what I would prefer. But I don't know. I'm getting like red pilled or black pilled like all the time. Like every day I'm swallowing a new couple pills. So I need to like I'd like to like kind of like shift my algorithm into more funny stuff. I've also like this is kind of evidenced by the fact that I've been saving like a lot fewer memes. Like I now have to pretty much like go out of my way to find more memes, I guess. Whereas like I used to like just like come across memes kind of more naturally, and I'd like get like a ton like every week. But like now I feel like I'm collecting fewer good memes because I'm like my timeline is all like wretched political related stuff. Which is, I mean, I've got, I wouldn't say I've got a sick fascination with it, but I am interested to learn, and I'm fascinated to kind of witness trends and patterns, which is, I believe, what I am witnessing. So, but the problem is that it's making me fucking go kind of crazy, so I need to witness kind of more content that's a bit more chill and not so nasty. De-radicalize. The day you do that, I'll refund every single dono I've done. Well, just in the sense that like I'm getting like kind of unnecessarily angry towards certain groups, but it's based on their actions. It's crazy. Like I feel like I'm the crazy one. It's just like to me, it's just like I see a video of a group, you know, affecting another group negatively, and I'm like, well, I hate what this group is doing. Thus, I hate them. And it's just like, to me, I'm just like, that's like not a healthy mindset. I need to like kind of like, I need to step back, and I need to be like iDubbbz and develop empathy at age 32. I'm joking. I'm joking. But what I'm trying to say is like I just don't want to see like such violent content on my feed so much, because I think it's not healthy for your brain. I like all of the offensive and edgy memes still, but like just like I'm seeing like too much violent content, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I still get good memes. Anytime I see a radical or far-right reel or meme, I laugh at it, but avoid liking it or saving it, so the algorithm thinks I've moved on. So you can stay off the FBI watch list. That's smart. Don't worry, G, I'll continue being the racial, Nazi, homophobe bigot for you. I'm not famous, I can't get canceled. I'm not worried about getting canceled, because I'm too small potatoes, as they say. Like, I'm much too small of a guy on the internet for anyone to like really care about what I do or who I am. Not to mention I have a couple layers of what I would describe as plausible deniability in relation to what I see and or share. So it's not really, I don't think it's a big deal. And I haven't done anything. I arguably haven't done anything truly despicable or worth of criticism. So ultimately I feel like I'm not. It's like not a big deal. I haven't done or said anything worth canceling for. So I'm not worried, but I'm just trying to say, like, I've just been seeing like a lot of violent content of like violent acts by, shall we say, certain groups of ethnic individuals, and I need to stop seeing that on my timeline because it's making me upset. I want to see more funnies. Ha! So you do support India over Pakistan. I'm gonna stick with that Henry Kissinger quote I said earlier. It's a shame both sides can't lose. I mean, you care what IRL people outside online world think of you. I don't, so I'm better. I am better. Oi, Homelander. Time to end stream, you cunt. I need to bollocks me meat. I'm trying to think. I mean, I care to like an extent of what people outside my stream think, I guess. But like, not everyone. Only the people that are important, I guess. Okay, my cat's yelling at me. I gotta go make some food. Alright, thanks for watching. Appreciate the support. I was yapping. I started my stream late today, and for the most of my stream, I was yapping about nothing that really mattered, so... Good stream. Save Jimmy. Tomorrow I'll stream this game some more. Hopefully I'll be able to actually just go ahead and kill more bandits with my poison. Because today, like, half the day I was just, like, leveling alchemy, or, like, looking around at different towns I want to move to. So I think I want to move into Coral, so I'll do that tomorrow, probably. Jeez, bro, done yapped. I do be yapping, though. Alright, see you boys next time.
He's the guy who's the talk of the town with the restless gun. Don't you bother to fool him around. Keeps the varmints on the run, boy. Keeps the varmints on the run. You may think he's a sleepy type guy, always takes his time. Soon I know you'll be changing your mind when you've seen him use a gun, boy. When you've seen him use a gun. He's the top of the West, always cool, he's the best. He keeps alive with his Colt 45. You won't bother to fool him around when you've seen him use a gun, boy. When you've seen him use a gun. He's the top of the West, always cooler, he's the best. He keeps alive with this Colt 45. Who's the guy who's riding to town in the prairie sun? You won't bother to fool him around when you've seen him use a gun, boy. When you've seen him use his gun.